Take the weight on my shoulders. As I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free.
Foul Territory, day 2 of our lives, and we add another big-time host to the mix. He's dancing. Look at us being all bold. AJ's looking at me like, day 2 and we're already going remote at Mets camp.
I was more talking about you guys match shirts on day 2. Like, we couldn't even have figured out, like, the non-matching shirts.
It looks good. Adam Jones, welcome to the squad. It's so great to have you. He'll be with us all season long, and he's at Mets camp. How you doing, Simply AJ10?
Oh, man, always good. Good to see you guys, man. It's always a blessing when we got the group together, and I'm excited for Foul Territory. Let's definitely get into some.
Wait, who's sitting behind you? Who's that? Like, you can just see over your left shoulder?
We got PR, and then we got Sugar.
Oh, all right.
Sugar.
Yeah.
That's good.
I had to hide Brown Sugar.
I love it. All right, so let's intro Adam to everyone here. So, and I made the guys do this themselves, but 5-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, World Baseball Classic legend with that coming up. But Kratzy, should we do the same thing like we did yesterday? Have him kind of say what means most to him?
For sure, absolutely. Get to know the man.
All right, so how would you do your scouting report, Adam? Like what stood out to you? I know the Marvin Miller Award too. Like, how would you describe if you're overseas, especially, and they're like, "Oh, you played baseball. Tell me about yourself."
That's a good question. That's good. That's hard. I mean, I'm just I think a person that garnered respect through what I did between the lines. I didn't let my mouth do my talking. I let my glove and my bat do my talking. Guy who respected the game, respected the veterans. Took AJ Pierzynski's designs from his shoes when he was with the White Sox, and I started to design my stuff. So every time I look at him, I'm like, hold on, he ain't that cool to have designs like this. Camo, how is he pulling this off? But I wish he had a little more colors, because the gray, I know you wanted more colors, AJ, but no, I think it's just a guy who played the game the right way and, left it all on the field between the lines. Smiled every day as I could, threw his bat. I was human, and just retired, living life, traveling the world in the 7 seas.
Hold up, Adam. Now, you said you didn't talk much. You let your bat do the talking. Trust me, you and I had some talking matches at home plate. Now, we're being honest here. Like, this is honesty here, right? Now, we had some talking matches at home plate.
Oh, yeah.
Which was fine. It was part of it. And, we're buddies now. We're buddies away from the field. But on the field now, you and I, we go back and forth a little bit. He'd come up the bank trying to tap my shin guard, and I'd be like, hey, stop that crap.
Yeah, you hated that. Oh, you couldn't stand it. Like, hey, man, it's a sign. I'm like, well, I ain't going to do it no more then. Forget you then.
I love it. And also now, Adam traveling the entire world. I feel like, Kratzy, the couple times we've been going over things, production meetings, all that with Adam, it's like, one day he's in Europe, next day he's in Asia, next day he's at Mets camp.
Very true.
Talked to him. He was eating French fries in France.
Yep.
Now he's with the Mets. He's probably gonna get in that PJ. That's probably why he's there. Cohen probably let him use his PJ. And
I wish.
Yeah, not yet. You might be leaving on it.
Hey, I might be. I'm gonna go. If I see him, I'm gonna butter him up. You know that. Oh yeah, the owners are the ones you butter him up now.
We got something special prepared for you, Claudia. Let's run it.
Yes, I love those.
I've been there.
That's Jordan or something, Petra.
I've been there. I was just there.
Well, yeah, you were in where? Egypt?
Petra. I was in Petra.
Oh, you were in Petra.
Souk in
Really?
Petra right there. Yeah,
Awesome.
I was just there New Year's.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife wants to go so bad. I'm like, hey.
Highly recommend. We did Egypt, Jordan, Israel. I highly recommend it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, don't tell
The
her
one
that.
was Japan there. I got a picture of that temple too. Or maybe it was China. I don't know. They all look the same. I can't tell.
That's Japan's. There's Japan's.
Japan. Yeah, I was
the
there
gates and stuff like that. Yeah, they have them there all over the place. They're beautiful too.
Okay,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you've traveled quite a bit too, no?
Yeah. I've been a lot of places.
Yeah.
I don't know about Adam Jones trying to catch me.
Adam's.
I am.
He's trying to catch
You think
me.
he's trying to catch you, or he's got you beat?
He's trying to. I don't know. It's close. We don't have enough time to compare, but
No.
I think he's trying. He might have passed me by now, but back in
28
the day,
countries. We're 28 countries now.
28.
I think I
Yeah.
got that beat.
Really? You think
Yeah.
you got
That's
that
awesome.
I think I could be because he played longer. He played later than I did, so I've got some more time. This is my 7th year out, so I've had 7 years to kind of catch up or passing.
Kratzy, you've been to a lot of states. I don't know how many countries you've been to, and also for Adam, we're going to bring in get Edwin Diaz set up for a sec, so that we might split from you for 1 minute. Real talk here. We're doing shows from all over the damn place on day 2.
In 28 states, we're doing
exactly.
shows.
Tell it like it is. I mean, we got to make a little room for Edwin Diaz, who's in the back chilling. Did you know?
No, I didn't know who it was.
I saw a player back there, an athletic-looking dude, and also I watched quite a bit of Mets, so that looked like Edwin Diaz. But I was like, is Edwin chilling in the back? I love it. All right, so he's getting set up. Kratzy, travel schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just get into it. There was no minor league teams in other countries, but when there was, that's the one that I played on. I played in Medicine Hat, so I'm pretty sure I'm the only one, although maybe AJ played in Ottawa. Never? Okay.
No, we got to clarify. You can't say AJ because if you're saying AJ, you're talking to me and Adam. So
we got to set this straight.
We're gonna have to set that. That's his Twitter name. Like he stole that from me. So I was named that. So it's Adam.
So who's the original? Who's
me? I'm older.
Apex AJ.
Me.
In 06, Andrew Jones. So mine was AJ 25-1 because I had to be different because he had it. So I was like, thank you for changing my number to 10. I don't have to worry about it no more.
Hey, Adam, I want to ask you this as it looks like we're about to bring in Adam, Edwin, I should say. Why are you on this show? I mean, we've talked about this. Like, this is digital, social. Say whatever shit's on your mind.
Right.
We know this game needs more of it. Talking to players, having a good time like this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that just the content that baseball needs, you need this kind of content. Obviously, it's the locker room banter, but you not bring all that out, but we need to bring some of these personalities out. These guys are jack of all trades in these locker rooms, and to have their personalities out, again, they do it through their own personal social media, so it'd be great to have them do it with us. So, as a player who played with his hair on fire and just tried to show his personality, it's great to see these guys, or you see how each team now is just a lot better with the social media and helping out guys mark their brands. And I think guys can really do that through our brand. So it's gonna be real fun, have some fun with these guys because we got Brown Sugar right here.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta have fun with these guys. These guys, they're human.
Bring them in. Edwin Diaz joining us, superstar Mets closer. Going to go to the WBC very soon as well as we're at Mets camp. Day 2, not bad. We got the closer for the Mets joining us. Edwin, how you doing, man?
How you doing, guys? And thank you for the opportunity.
Dude, first of all, first thing I'm going to say is I'm glad I never had to face you because that 100 with the 92-mile-an-hour slider would hit me in the back knee. But your hair, right? Your hair, blonde for WBC?
Yeah.
All blonde, right?
Yeah, all Puerto Ricans play are dyeing their hair blonde, so I'm playing the WBC. That's why I got my hair blonde.
Last time y'all did that shit, y'all lost.
Yeah, we lost, but
change the color. Man, go red.
We did something special for Puerto
red.
Rico.
Go red this time.
Red?
Blue. Yeah, switch the color. Everybody going like this. Go to the other field.
Yeah,
man.
we're doing the blonde again because we did something special for Puerto Rico. People get together at home, not crying those 2 weeks. That was really, really special over there. And we are trying to do the same thing. Our goal is win the championship, but at the same time, give some love to Puerto Rican people.
The things you guys did for, like you said, the awareness because you had a massive hurricane in 17. So you guys uplifted it. And me and Yachty was going back and forth. They were like, oh, you guys have a parade like this? You guys went back to one country, the island. So you went to the capital. He's like, what, you want me to go to Olympia, Washington, all 50 states and 50 capitals? I'm not doing that to celebrate. No, I'm going back to I had a bottle of Blue Label and took my ass back to Sarasota. Go see my kids. But away from this, you got your son a Messi jersey for his birthday. Are you big into soccer? Obviously, football. But with the World Cup, so international, it was amazing. I know you had to see it. Everybody was watching it. What's your ties to soccer? You know any?
I don't know much about soccer, but my son loves soccer. He wanna play soccer. He told me every time, "Oh, Daddy, I wanna play soccer." So I asked him, "Hey, who is favorite player soccer?" I said Messi.
Right.
So my wife went to buy a Messi jersey, and he almost wear it every day because like he followed Messi big time. So he loves soccer and he wanna play soccer. So let's see what happens.
You think through your connections you can reach out to Messi, reach out to? I mean, you just got the Mets connection. You got Cohen's connection now.
Yeah. I think we can
Reach
reach
out to
them.
somebody.
I think we got the opportunity to reach to him. Like if I had the chance, I wanna do it because it's my favorite player for my son. So let's see what happens. And then
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. We got to talk about the song though, the walkout song. Team Puerto Rico. Oh, here we go. We got to talk about this song though. I mean, when I first heard it, when everybody first heard it, they're like, "Hold on," and then he caught on like wildfire. And then you actually got the guy to come out
and
to
play. Yeah.
Like I only could see it on TV. I never got there. The game I came, you guys was blowing them out. So you probably was in the back just chilling.
Yeah, chill.
How like just walking through them gates when you hear that? How impactful is that, man? Because obviously the game's over when you're coming in, but
Yeah, that's my goal. Like make the other team feel like the game's over. So I think the song is more for the fans. Like they love that song, so they get into it. Like they give me that vibe when I'm running to the mound. And like Timmy Trumpet came and played that song in the stadium. That was really good. Like it was something like out of this world. So it was really fun.
so as a closer though, you I mean obviously you have a routine of running in, everything is timed. Does it bother you when they have to check you? Because you got to get checked for you don't get checked every time, but you have to
No,
get checked.
we get checked every single time.
Does it
Like,
mess up your routine, or like, okay, I gotta?
no, I
it's
know,
gonna happen.
it's gonna happen. So I know that we check my hand or my hat or my belt, whatever. But when they stop checking me, I keep running. Instead of walk, I keep running until I know I have to walk. So
Yeah.
I keep my routine.
Perfect. WBC coming up, man. Come on. What Puerto Rico gonna do?
Win the ring. We're going to get the gold medal. So we got a really good team. Like I think we got the chance to play. Like, everything is really good. Like US, DR, Japan.
Yeah.
But we got the chance. Like Venezuela, Mexico. Like they got a really good team. So I think this year will be a lot of competitive.
Oh man,
Hey,
So
Adam.
I can't wait to start the WBC and play those games.
yeah.
Kratzy,
Bienvenido.
can he hear you, Kratzy?
Can you hear me, Eddie?
Yes.
Hey, bienvenido, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I got a question for you. You guys are all going to the blonde hair. We already hit on that. But who's the jefe? Who's the one that's making that decision? Since Yadi's not playing anymore, maybe did the coach make the decision? Who's the guy behind that for Team Puerto Rico?
So this year was Javi Baez, the first one who did it. So after he did it, so everyone followed him. So 2017 was Yadi, and this year was Javi Baez. So after he blown his hair, everybody started blowing his hair.
Who looks worse in the blonde hair? Christian Vasquez or everybody else?
Who's the worst?
Who looks the worst? Look, you can't you ain't blonde in this. Like, so I'm not.
Yeah, but if you like this, you have to wear. If you have beard, you have to dye your beard. Or if you don't have anything, so
I don't got anything. My eyebrow, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a couple
But the
slices
worst,
in my eyebrow.
I think we can check that on Monday when we get there. So when we get there to Fort Myers, we're going to practice Fort Myers. We will see everyone. So I can tell you who looked the worst.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Edwin, you were talking Timmy Trumpets earlier. Was there another player
William
that had your
Contreras.
song?
I think it was William Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras. Yeah, he have
So
it in
like, do you
Atlanta.
drill him, or
Yo,
you're like,
there's
dude, that's
millions
my
of
song,
songs.
bro? I'm
Edwin, there's
drilling you.
millions of songs. Like, tell him to
Yeah.
pick something else. That's your damn song.
You couldn't.
I
do that.
got a fun story. Like last year, I think the last game of that series, late September, we was playing Atlanta. So I came to pitch because I got like 3-4 days off. I came to face, I think, 1 or 2 batters, and they bring him as a pinch hit. So they play my song, and I start laughing. I want to start laughing, but I myself was laughing inside. And I say, oh, I have to strike out this guy to let him know that's my son. So I threw only 3 pitches. Like, I think 2 fastball and 1 slider, or 2 slider, 1 fastball. He no had no chance. Like in that beat, he looked bad.
Hopefully you looked at him and was like, "That's my song, man. That's my song.
Can't do that,
You're
though.
stealing my song.
Can't.
I got Timmy Trumpets playing live. You got nothing. You got traded to Milwaukee."
Speaking of strikeouts, strikeouts. Okay, so you and your brother, you guys are striking out the world. The real question is, and we're never going to see it because you pitchers aren't allowed to hit anymore. Who gets a hit first? You versus him, or him versus you?
I faced him last year in Puerto Rico. Like when he was throwing live, he walked me. He threw me three balls in a row. So I knew the next pitch was coming right in the middle. I hit a foul ball like really close to the line, like late, like really close to the line, and then he ended up walk me. But I think I got more chance than him. Like I know why he will throw me, and I know he will throw me fastball away only. So I will get ready to hit that pitch.
Oh, dude.
Hey, Edwin, I got a question for you about WBC. So, are you going to be able to pitch back-to-back days? How does that conversation go with the Mets, too? Like, hey, this is what we want you to do while you're there, balancing that with Team Puerto Rico, because a lot of guys have certain rules and restrictions. What's the deal there?
Yeah, I got the same restriction. I won't pitch back-to-back days because it's early March, mid-March, so I can pitch. Like, if I pitch today, I have to be the next day off. So with 1 day in between, that's fine. That's really good, I think. Let's see if we get to the finals. If I have to pitch back to back in the finals, I think the Mets will let me go and pitch back to back because it's the end of the March. So I think I can pitch back to back at the end of the March.
Did your prep change at all because WBC? Like, did your offseason change? Did you say, like, I need to throw bullpen sooner? Do I need to be ready sooner? Did anything change, like, in your prep? Like, what's your prep for WBC compared to the regular season?
No, it's the same. It's the same prep because I like to came to spring training ready, not to get ready. So when I get to spring training, I'm ready to go. But the season can start tomorrow. I'm 100% ready. So I didn't change anything. I just keep working, throwing my life here with the guys, game to the game, like to pitch, like close game the games to set my mind ready to when I had to face those guys in the WBC.
All right, talk about this contract that you just signed, the largest contract for a reliever. What is the first thing you went and bought when you got the bag? Because you got the bag.
I was trying to buy a house first for my kids, so I'm trying to do that. A big house.
For your kids?
Yeah.
Your kids don't need a house. You need the house.
I will live there, but then I can give that house to
you
them.
and
So
the kids just they just go along for the.
I'm trying to buy a house, and then let's see what I can buy. So I think that's the first thing I have to do.
In Puerto Rico? I'm in Puerto Rico.
I got one in Puerto Rico. I'm trying to buy one in New York. So
you better, man, that bag better be large in New York.
New York's no joke.
Hey, I just saw somebody was selling one for like 30. Who was? I don't know.
In New York City?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Insane up there. Come on,
Yeah.
man. For an apartment, I can hear somebody with trash on the streets. That ain't it. I'm moving out to where CC out in Alpine or something like that. What's your guilty pleasures? Like, again, we successful, we make money. What's your guilty pleasures? Is it watches? Is it
I like watches,
jewelry, cars, shoes?
Yeah, I like everything. Shoes, I like to buy shoes a lot.
Because with this clubhouse, y'all everybody big money. So
You came here in the parking lot, you see big cars. Like, it's really expensive car here.
What you driving?
I got a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I know what that car is. Man. That thing
I don't know
nice.
what that is.
You should
What's
try
that?
that.
Hey, what's that? What's a Lamborghini? What do you say? Oros? What's that?
The Urus.
The Urus.
The
Is
SUV.
that the SUV?
SUV, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been in one of them. You're too big for that.
No,
It's
great.
really good. Like it's comfy.
Oh, my
It's a
friend has
comfy
one. I can't fit in the front seat. I told him to get rid of it. He still did. He gave it to his wife.
Edwin, what about your almost twice-time teammate, Correa? He was almost a Met teammate. He was almost your WBC teammate.
Yeah, I almost met too. We played together before signed. I know him signed a long time ago because we played in the same travel team. So I was really excited when he made the deal with the Mets. But the team didn't get through. I'm still really happy for him. Like he got his back. So wishing the best to him. Like
Yeah.
Will he dye his hair
killing him.
blonde? Will he dye his
Just-
hair blonde even though he can't go to WBC? Will he still?
I don't
'cause
know.
We did
I
an
don't
interview and
think
he
so.
didn't
I don't
dye.
think
No.
so. Maybe it's one of the guys who was waiting to the last to see
See,
if he was going or not.
Hey, Edwin, have a great day, all right? And good luck out there in WBC. We really appreciate you joining us. And as Adam said, like, this is the open spot for people to be able to just shoot the shit, talk with the guys, all players on here. And I actually heard one of your teammates is waiting. Is he in the room?
Yeah, he's here. Frank,
All right.
diga hello.
It's a
Yeah,
solid
another-
transition. We'll let him
Another
get set
golden
up.
lord from Meteor, man. You got
Buenos suerte.
I got my
Oh,
guy
no.
here, so he's next.
Oh, I got some stuff for him.
Uh-oh,
I got
yeah.
some Orlando stuff coming for him.
You can pass that mic. Edwin, thank you so
All
much.
right, thank
Always
you.
so great
Thanks,
to
man.
talk to
Thank
you, all
man.
right?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here, man, I'll set you up.
I love it. All right, let's get him
Brown
set up.
sugar.
Would you say, Adam, brown sugar?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar, baby. Adam, way to make a damn statement on your first day. We were having our production meeting and we're like, all right, let's see, what are we doing on day 2 of this show? And Adam's like, oh, I'm in Mets camp. I'll probably grab like a few All-Stars or something like that.
Nobody you've ever heard of.
You can't. I mean, it's harder to grab Verlander, Scherzer. They're gonna talk about pitching
he's pitching
sequences. I
tomorrow.
don't want to talk about pitching sequences.
Okay. Nobody.
Also, Scherzer's coming on next week, right?
Yeah. He said he'd come on Monday or Tuesday.
Scherzer's coming next week. So all the
Definitely
big
something in
boys this
between the
week.
starts.
Yeah, we have
Definitely.
Yeah,
Wayne.
well, he's pitching tomorrow, and he wanted to get the pitch clock. It was a whole thing. But
Yeah.
he's coming on next
I'd
week.
rather have him after he's got a couple starts
Yeah.
under his belt so we can get him on all that. Hey, Francisco Lindor joining us right now. And isn't he our neighbor now, too?
He's an Orlando guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie,
What's
up,
going
buddy?
on?
How you guys doing?
Hey, I want to know when you buy me Cristini's, because I always see you in Cristini's in
Cristini's
Orlando.
great,
So
man.
one of these
That's the
days you're
spot.
going to take me and pay for me.
It's all good. I'll take care of it.
And then second of all, like my son plays high school. We play Mount Verde. Man, you got a turf practice field, but we can't get a turf regular field. We got the Francisco Lindor Middle School. We can't get a turf field.
That's in the works. We're trying
All right.
to get. Hopefully, we get another field so the boys have more space to continue to develop. The turf field is coming at some point. We just gotta take it little by little. We can't give them everything at the same time.
Because, First Academy, and we're showing you guys up, Big Mount Verde, they're all basketball. We're baseball, First Academy, turf field, we go over to Mount Verde, we're like, we had bad hops. It's Frankie Lindor Field.
We'll still beat you guys.
Oh, here we go.
We'll still beat
Hey, you guys
up.
recruit better than we do.
I did it when I was there, and I'm sure the boys will take care of business as well.
There you go.
What has spring training been like this year with the new rules? Obviously, who knows? They came out with rules, but who really knows in terms of how it's going to implement? You can move different outfielders. You can only pick, but the catchers can back pick unlimited times. Like I know Buck has definitely read everything to the T. So how's the new rules working?
Yeah, there's a lot of different rules that some of them are dumb, and some of them are like, yeah, I like it.
Wait, which one's dumb? Which ones are dumb?
I mean, I can't be on the grass when the pitcher it's even coming set. Like before the pitcher even comes set, I have to be on the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like what's a step on the grass so that I can creep into the dirt. When the ball is being released, yeah, let me be on the dirt. But after that, let me be on the grass and like preset and start come forward and on the dirt.
So like when Stanton's hitting, you can't back up 3 steps and play because he ain't gonna bunt. But yeah, you'd rather open yourself up for the range. You can't do that.
And I get the the more room you give in the grass, people start playing with it, and then the shift is pretty much back. I get that, but at least one step in the grass where I can pre-pitch and land on the dirt.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But
These new rules. I mean, I'm glad we ain't got to deal with them because a lot of them be crazy. AJ, you'd love that.
I could have got one
shift.
stolen base with the
Shift. Ooh, you'd love that without the shift.
No one shifted on me
No,
because
the-
I couldn't pull the ball.
The big ass bases, you're saying?
I couldn't pull it. They didn't shift on me, dude. I couldn't pull the ball. I
Put
bumped.
you up on the air.
Yeah, that's right. Shank it over Frankie's head for a knock. That's how I got my hits.
Frankie, talking about line drives. I don't know if you remember, but we were teammates for one spring training.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember the line drive that was hit at you on the backfield?
I hit the bill of my cap.
Oh my goodness. You tell the story, and if you leave anything out, I will fill it in because that was the end of your day.
All I remember is just the ball coming at me and just hitting literally like the bill of my car.
Ooh.
Yeah. I struggled for a couple of years catching line drives.
Because of that.
I mean, the ball came. You were ready for it. Your hat was perfectly flat, exactly like it is now,
Yeah.
and you were ready for it, and it knuckled, and it hit you square in the brim. I mean, it flattened, it bent the front of your brim right where that ball hit, and you had the biggest scared look. Mr. Smile was Mr. Afraid because your eyes were as big as your smile.
Yeah.
You
Hey.
thought that was going to be the end of your season, and whoever
Yeah.
hit the ball thought they were going to get cut. I will never forget that.
I can only have big lips. I can't have big nose and big lips at the same time. I wouldn't be able to see.
Hey, Francisco, I want to ask you about the pitch clock and stepping into the box because the guy you're sitting next to, I remember I did this long ass interview on Sirius like maybe 6-7 years ago, and Adam was like, this was when they were trying to enforce, hey, just getting in the box quicker, and Adam's like, I'm going to take my damn time when I hear my song and I walk into that box. So I haven't even gotten his take on it yet, but are you cool with that? The way that the game is speeding up, which obviously is helpful for a quicker product, but you guys don't get to kind of swag up to the boxes quickly.
Yeah, when that was kind of implemented, I was still in the minor leagues. So I was still one of those, what you call the chess move, the little one,
Pawns?
the pawn. That was still one of the pawns. You know, they could toy around with us, and I kind of got used to just once I'm in the box, I stay in the box. You know, there was no like taking my time and looking around. Walking to the box, I would like to listen to my song. We picked the song specifically to like get us in the moment, and that's part of our swag. They had a tough time the first day walking into the box, and then everything felt really fast. The rest of the bat felt really fast. Now I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up to the plate. We don't have any walk up song here, so I'm just gonna walk up to the plate and just stand to the plate. I don't even say hello to the catchers anymore. I just go to the box and like and just go back to just face the pitcher.
AJ wouldn't want to talk to you.
No.
No.
You ain't got time for that bull crap. Ain't got no time for that.
It's hard. It's hard not to talk to you guys. I look at you. You guys look at me to see if I flinch. Who flinched first?
Right.
Hey, Frankie, who are you going to play short for Puerto Rico? Or are you playing third? Baez, with no Correa?
I'm playing short.
And so Javi will move to third.
Second.
Who's going to play third?
I don't know. Yadi, that's up to Yadi. Let Yadi deal with that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How'd you guys figure that out? Rock, paper, scissors? Whoever has the most career dingers? What is it?
No, last WBC I played short, and
Yeah.
we kind of stick with that. Javi was the second. Correa was the third. We
It's going to be Correa.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
He's
why
not
isn't
playing.
Correa isn't Correa playing?
Correa has a baby on the way. Well, his wife has a baby on the way.
Okay.
He's got a bad ankle. I don't know if you guys heard about his ankle problem.
From the doctors?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's happening.
Tune in later. We'll get all into it.
Machado's
have
got bad
Correa on.
knees too, 18 years later. Like, come on, man.
No, that's true. Hey, we have him on later, by the way, too. And
Yeah.
he had a little false alarm. He was almost about to leave Fort Myers, and then he came back. So, but yeah, baby coming in the next week or something like that. But
Yeah.
were you guys pissed to not have Correa on Puerto Rico's team and on the Mets? Like, were you guys like, let's go, and then hold up?
I have learned in my career to not get too excited. Until the paper isn't signed, you don't get excited.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything until you actually sign that paper, because anything can happen. In those, it's funny, man. Those physicals, it's sometimes you feel like they're coming out to get you.
They giving you all that money. Hell, they got to take insurance on it. Right. Talking about kids. Your father, baby number 2 on the way.
Mhm.
How is that transition from being a single
Mm-hmm.
professional all-star now? Your wife, kids. It's like you sharing your career now. Now your career is not just you anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the best stage of my life right now. I think my 0 for 4s became a little easier.
Yeah.
You know, they become a little easier when I get up the field and I go home and I get to see my family. with that being said, 0 for 4 and a tough time at the house as well. It could be it could be a long day.
Very, very true.
It could be a
man.
long day, but
Very true.
I'm in the best stage of my life right now, and I think it's completely different. When I first came up, and just being single and only focusing on what I had to focus to be successful.
Yeah.
It's completely different than now. Now I got a Christina's with my wife and my daughter.
Yeah, that's true. That's a beauty. That's a blessing, man.
Hey, Francisco, how awesome is it just in general? Because I remember we were hanging out a little bit last year at spring training to be a Met. Like now you've been all settled in. I'm saying team-wise, Stevie Cohen spending money left and right. Like most of my family, Mets fans for a long time, went through a lot of shit growing up, right? And now like they are the talk of baseball. Like there's a big free agent. Mets are all over it. 90% of the time, they're checking that guy out. Steve Cohen's like the George Steinbrenner in a good way, where George would be like, "We're going to spend as much as we want to be like the empire of the league."
Yeah, no, it feels great. It's a great vibe right now in the clubhouse. Great vibe in the city. When both teams are good in New York, the city it's vibing, and it's fun to be a Met right now. I'm enjoying the ride. Whenever the front office is putting the same amount of energy the players are putting on the field, good things happen. So I'm looking forward to it. We have a great manager, a great front office, and our team is great.
I was wondering about Buck. I had him 8 years, and he let me just like play, just play. I trust that you're gonna make the best decision on the field. Has he let you just, especially after your first year? I mean, you're going to Cleveland where, ain't nobody there, to New York where, hey, you got expectations, brother. But does Buck let you just say, here, do what you need to do? I know you're going to prepare. I know you're going to be prepared. Just prepare yourself. Like, you just let the reins down and just let you be Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of his best attributes, to let the players be themselves but hold them accountable.
Yeah, very true.
He leads by the intimidating factor. And holding people accountable, and I respect that. Everyone here, it's held to the same standard. Whether you have 10 years, 20 years, one day in the big leagues, you are in the same boat. And Tito was the same way, and I appreciate that. I come in day in and day out and give it my best. There's days that I don't feel it, but whenever you have someone to lead that's forcing you or demanding the same thing you were doing every single day, it kind of pushes you, and I love that. Buck's been great.
Have you seen him get on the top step?
Yeah,
do that.
Top
somebody
step,
fucked up.
top step.
Somebody messed up.
Top step, and then when you cross his arms and you just
get a side eye.
Yeah, you get the side eye.
I've seen that so many times that you don't want to see that. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's allowed you to, obviously one of the game's best player, so lead instead of micromanaging. You don't need to be micromanaging. You need to just go out there and play and lead these guys. So he
did say that he was beating up on the Indians. I said, Buck, you can't live on one good year. and he looked up the numbers, so I'm intrigued to see with the years I was with the Indians, now the Guardians, and you guys were there. What were the numbers if you guys were beating up on us? I told him, I said, no chance.
Oh yeah,
no chance. You guys had one good year.
With 3.
When I came up, I came up in 15.
Yeah,
at 16, you guys were out of it.
We were on that decline, brother.
Right, you guys beat up on us one good year. I said, Buck, you can't live one good year.
True.
So that was funny. He just said, he mentioned that.
He don't forget nothing, man. He's like an elephant. He's a damn elephant. Don't forget nothing.
He goes, we were beating up on you guys. I said, Buck, what are you talking about? But,
Francisco, have you found out what's in Buck's pocket when he runs out to the mound? He puts the 2 fingers in like the side pocket and he runs out like. So has anyone ever figured out what's in that pocket?
This spring training, for the first time I saw that pocket. He's got a pocket in the front.
Yeah, he makes them him a pocket.
Yeah, he runs out of the mound with his hands in the pocket. He like, oh boy.
So I asked him, I was like, Buck, what you got a pocket there? And he goes, you want me to tell you the truth? I'm like, of course. And he goes, back in the days, managers used to put their cigarettes in there. And then it became illegal. Then they did it in their arm. They did it in the jerseys. They did it in different spots. But I just got used to it. So he puts it there. What's in there? I don't know. He don't smoke, so I don't know.
And when he runs out there, he'll do the little skip and he one hand here, and he's like, "Nope, I want that guy out there." And he's asking for the ball way before he even gets to the mound too. You know when a pitching change is coming, he hop out that dugout quick. And I remember when he had knee surgery, he tried to hop out there real quick. He caught himself like, "Oh, hold on," instead had to walk out there. Let the other guy do it, Buck. It's okay. You don't have to be all tough all the time, brother. It's okay, man. Damn.
Francisco, I know. Are you playing today, by the way?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. I mean,
man.
this shit's brand new. Bringing on all the big boys. We got Max. We'll get some 30 minutes of Max next week on the rules and all that. Can't wait. But big lunch for you and AJ on David Meter at some point in Orlando. How about that? I've been boys with David for a long time. His agent.
Done.
He's
been making money. Let's make sure he pays.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I'll take any free meal. I'll take any free meal from anybody.
Business good for David. Come on, David.
But
we got a big
David,
lunch.
We got to go somewhere else. Pasta, it could be a little cheap, so let's take him somewhere else.
Hey, Christina's isn't cheap now. We start throwing the wine in. We start throwing in Alfredo. It gets expensive.
See, the wine is where it gets you.
Yeah.
I'm easy with the wine. Wife pregnant, so I just go one glass. I don't. And then I got to drive back, so there's no. I'm going half. I'm in Claremont. I got to drive 35 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll drive you. You can go nuts on the wine. Hey, Francisco, we really appreciate it. Hope you can come on again sometime. Good luck at the WBC. We love having you here, man. Thank you.
Stay healthy, man.
Yeah. All right,
stay healthy, brother. Number one thing, stay healthy.
I will.
Hell yeah. Cheers. All right. Well, good start.
It's Team Puerto Rico Day today. I feel like
show it.
Look at me. I'm on Team Puerto Rico with my hair, my old hair. I had the blonde hair, but yeah. I mean, wow. Correa. We already taped Correa yesterday, and he was amazing.
That's true.
Edwin Diaz, and now Francisco Lindor. I mean, Team Puerto Rico. Next, we'll have Joey Cora on the Mets camp. Adam, get Joey Cora on here. I want to talk to him.
He's around somewhere.
Yeah, grab that little fella and tell him I need to talk to him.
Joey Cora. He was looking for Joey Cora, but
no, we gotta get Yachty in. We gotta get Yachty in. This is a catcher's show. We're letting Adam.
Where's
Yachty?
Yachty?
A few balls.
Well, is Omar Narvaez? Is he? He's a cat. He's here. I don't know.
But he's not Puerto Rican.
No, he's not.
I think he's Venezuelan.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah.
I don't know who's catching on this team. It's Narvaez and Nito. Nito, Puerto Rican.
Is he?
Tomas Nito, yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Is he playing WBC though?
His hair was not blonde.
No.
Christian Vasquez.
And he's not playing. That's how you tell.
His hair
Vasquez is on the Twins, Kratz. It's going to be hard for him to make that commute.
Yeah, you're talking about who's catching for Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Vasquez was at Correa's for dinner last night.
AJ and Kratz, you going to a brand new team, like Vasquez is going to a brand new team and then he's going to leave for the WBC. Like that's difficult because you got to learn all new pitchers. Granted, it's not like the Met staff over there, but they got some really good pitchers, really good arms, and you still got to learn them.
Overrated.
Not for me, it wasn't. For AJ, he's got it. AJ,
you know what? Hey, Jonesy, you want to see how I learned my pitchers? Look at what I got in my hand. This is how I learned my pitchers right here. Look. This is how I learned my pitchers right here. I was like, all right. If I get a hit, my pitchers will like me a lot more.
Is that true?
OG?
No, I mean, I like
We'll make it painless for you, baby.
Yeah.
No problem.
Let's go.
Oh,
Tommy Pham in the house, getting set up for a sec. So we got Tommy, and then we'll talk to Ken Rosenthal in about 20 minutes from now. Carlos Correa later. Solid day.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Yeah,
Clean,
not
man.
too
tell
shabby.
Tommy his hair looks nice if his IFB isn't hooked up yet. It looks sharp.
Kratzy, did you play with Tommy?
Come on.
Yeah.
I haven't had a guest yet that I haven't.
Kratz play with everybody.
All right, Kratzy, then you intro him, all right? Be the host. Let's go. It's your second day hosting on a show. Bring it.
We're going to bring in Tommy Pham with Adam Jones here. Tommy Pham, probably the most street cred of anybody last year in the entire MLB. Tommy, welcome.
Thanks for the intro, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, say, dog, we've been knowing each other for years, man. And I always, obviously, you're a fashion, man, God. But every time I respond to something, you're like, I ain't got no kids, so it's easy to do. But what's your inspiration for the fashion, man? And now you're in the Big Apple, where fashion is
I know.
Fashion forward.
You know, I felt like I always had sauce. You know, so it's one thing that has swag, it's another that has sauce. You know, I felt like I always had sauce. So, I mean, I'm gonna bring it in New York. I already know. I'm gonna have to ship my whole closet out to New York to show people I ain't playing.
You don't have your first outfit picked out already for opening day?
Man, that's too far away.
Hey, there's some colorful things you can pull these days.
Hey.
Don't be like, was it the Kuzma had them big, what's that jacket
hell
with
no,
them
I
long
can't do
arms
that.
and stuff?
Come on now, that's not me. But hey, I'll tell you, I got enough. I probably got enough new outfits to wear for about 2 months straight. So
Oh, damn.
I'm ready.
Dude, Tommy
I wanna
likes,
be
he
a
don't want the
designer.
big arms, Adam. Tommy's got them big arms. Like, he don't want the big outfits. He wants to show off the guns. Like, he doesn't need to be walking around like the baggy stuff. He's got the skin tight, tailored look.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm older. I wear what's free and what fits. I wear what's from Nike, what's free. I stay on Nike Elite. I don't care about nothing no more. Wife can have all that. This is Nike Elite me.
Hey, Tommy, I was telling this story to you guys the other day when we were teammates in St. Louis. Remember when we went to Chicago and I had John Jay arrested? Do you remember what you said to him?
Oh,
Do you remember what you said to him?
I don't remember, but I remember when Jay got arrested.
Do you remember
I didn't know what. Hey, when they came in the locker room, man, I didn't know what was going on.
Because no one knew except for me and
Wait,
the
you
team.
need to give more context though,
Okay,
because
so-
people watching are going to
yeah,
be like, John Jay is my boy
Yeah,
too.
John-
He did not get arrested.
He got
Yeah.
I had John Jay fake arrested, and he did something to me, and then so I was mad. So I told him I'd get him. We went to Chicago, Wrigley Field. We had him like fake arrested. They cuffed him. They threw him they were taking him to the clink, and Tommy Fan goes, "Man, John, I would have never taken it like that. I would have whooped them cops' ass." And I'm like, "You would have not done. You was a rookie. You did." And John Jay looked at you, and he's like, "You're crazy, Tommy." And from that moment on, I was like, "I ain't messing with Tommy Pham. I ain't getting him arrested."
They came in there, man, and they just bullied him like a little punk. Like, you got to at least do something, and he's wearing it. That said a lot to me that day.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
tough.
It was great. I always remember that about you, Tommy, that you were like, "John, you should have done something." And he was like, "I would never take it." And I was like, "Well, I ain't messing
I
with
was
Tommy
probably
Pham."
serious too.
Oh, dead serious.
Oh, I know you were. That's what I said. I ain't messing with that guy. So how
Last
did
couple
you-
years, you've been in a couple different clubhouses. How's this clubhouse compared to other ones? Obviously, we know they're just the organization, the owner, and the finances, but the personnel, the camaraderie, the energy.
There's a great vibe in the locker room. I mean, everybody is clicking well. A lot of big bank accounts. A lot of big bank accounts, man. A lot of free golf invites.
Okay.
But I don't golf.
You know, pick it up.
Yeah, because a lot of free stuff going on around here.
Verlander taking you to Grove yet? Has he offered to take you to Grove yet?
Nah, he mentioned some nice golf somewhere where Michael Jordan.
Let's
That's
go.
Grove. That's it.
Yeah, I was invited already. You see,
Well, I know another guy that can take Adam if he ever comes up here.
I'm going to take advantage, and of some dinners from Verlander, maybe Scherzer. I've been showing them my football curve, so they got to pay me back somehow.
What
You taking
ahead,
anybody out to dinner?
Not yet, but time to time I will.
Yeah.
There's some nice places in New York.
Ooh, some good eating. Have you got
There ain't
anybody
nothing in
under
Port
your
St.
wing?
Lucie.
No, I don't.
Port St. Lonely. That's what it's
We
called.
have a very, very experienced clubhouse over here. So, there's not too many young guys in the outfield. Then Marte has Ramirez under his belt. So there ain't really anyone for me to handle.
Mind your own business. Handle your own business.
Hey, Tommy, is this a little better than last year? And being in Cincinnati, I remember I saw you. I was with Yonder Alonso. We were about to do a game. And first off, you were saying, this is not playing like Great American Small Park right now in the beginning of the year. And then I think the game we talked to you, you guys had a big day, and you too. And it was like, I think it got much hotter because it was cold there. Plus, I mean, you're going from Cincinnati, kind of rebuild city right now, and then now you're with the Mets, like the big boys in the league.
Yes, Cincinnati was tough. The whole situation with the lockout. So spring training flew by. I was in camp, I think, for a week. But
We got off to a terrible start. Injuries crushed us. I've never been a part of anything like that in Cincy. From opening day, we might have lost 4 position players, and within 2 weeks, we were down like 7 players. Then we finished the month of April 3-22, and it was just hard to pick that back up, from that slow start. But now they're in rebuild mode. But on the flip side over here, this is something completely different. The expectations is to win a World Series, and we have a lot of guys in the locker room that have a lot of Cy Young, Silver Sluggers, whatever. We have a lot of very good players in this locker room, so just different expectations.
Tommy, are you still holding the bat? Like, do you do the mirror thing? Remember the big story that came out all about like all the shit you do before and after games?
Yeah, that hasn't changed, man. I'm in the weight room every morning looking at my swing in the mirror, so that's just who I am.
Telling you, playing with this guy. This guy was. Now we were in Tampa. We were kind of on the grind for the 6 weeks that we played together. But I'm telling you, this dude was locked in. You were the one that brought in the whole Bosu ball. This guy's hitting on a half Bosu ball in the cage. And I'm telling you, like, other guys are having a tough time standing on these balls. He's standing on there and just absolutely racking the ball in the cage. Tell me about how you got that routine, and do you still do it? Because that was back in 19.
Yeah, that's something I picked up in the offseason hitting in Miami with JD. And I brought it to Tampa, and at the time I was balling. I was raking. Then Meadows picked on and started balling, and it just spread like a wildfire in that locker room. But is it something I still do? No. Maybe I need to go back to it because I haven't hit in a couple years. So I might have to pull out old tricks, from the bag. You might be onto something there.
So I'm saying, your impact this year on this team. How do you, obviously you play the game the right way. You bring an edge that this team needs. How do you feel your impact is going to be here on this team? With all, because you got it's a damn good team. So how do you feel your impact is?
Yeah, we have a really good team. I play the game hard, and hopefully that could carry over to everybody. Hard 90s, just showing up every day, putting in all your effort to go out there and be the best you. If you do that 200 days, hopefully we're right there at the finish line, competing in the World Series.
Yeah.
Now, Tommy, I already said I wouldn't mess with you after what happened when we were Cardinals teammates, but I got to ask, man, Jock Peterson, dude, like give me something here. Like, you walked up, you slapped a man. Like, I get fantasy football serious, but I don't know that I'm going to walk over and just smack a guy for fantasy football talk.
He just said he would take the cops. So
that's Jock Peterson. You're right. Never mind. I take it all back. You would slap the guy, and you did. So
Jock ain't no cop.
Nope. Tell me the story.
Yeah, so we're in a fantasy football league together, and there was just, let me just say this, I've never said what's up or hi to Jock on the baseball field. We're not friends like that. We're not cool like that. So when we joined this football league together, there was a lot of shit talking. Oh, my fault. There was a lot.
You can say whatever you want.
Tommy, Tommy, that's why we have this show.
All the way foul.
No holding back. Whatever
Say
you
what you
want.
want.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit
digital.
talking in the group chat from Jock to me, then to my my team at the time, and I was just like, man, I never said what's up to this man. I don't know what makes him think it's cool, to take shots at me and my team. Then I forewarned him. I was like, hey, Jock, I'm not cool with you like this. Then he kept taking subtle shots. So I was like, next time I see you, man, I'm gonna pimp slap the shit out of you. And it just so happened to be a year later. So
you held on to all that?
Dude, I told you I won't mess with that guy. I told you when he first got called up. I ain't messing with Tommy Pham. I don't care. I don't know if someone else that but I was a great teammate.
Is there someone else that you've warned? Like has anybody else been warned? They need to be afraid?
I'm gonna take it a little easy, man. You know, I haven't rushed. I haven't sharpened none of my skills in fighting the past year. So, you know, I'm gonna be a good citizen in the MLB this year.
And you're gonna be raking.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
That's
but I will say this:
important.
if one of your teammates though gets plunked, you know, they feel good about. Like I remember, who is it? Sean Rodriguez was always like one of those guys where it's like,
he
yo,
was
if
loud.
someone fucks with one of our
The
teammates,
difference is Sean Rodriguez was the guy behind the pile.
yeah,
Tommy Pham's the guy walking in front saying, "Let's go."
Yeah,
Like, I got your back.
You know, fighting on the field in baseball, man. I mean, them fines are expensive.
Just wrestle.
Why don't let's just meet up at some gym or something? Let's meet up somewhere and do it off the field. You know, baseball fights is kind of eyewash. You know, everybody goes out there, acts tough. You know, but nobody's really, you know, really about that.
Baseball sparring. Let's select baseball sparring
a great
events in
idea.
off season. Hey, you guys had a spat in April? Hell, keep holding on to them grudges and see you in November.
Baseball, it's real eyewash, man. You know, maybe we should have something like hockey where they just let people show the gloves or show the hands, whatever that you want to call it, and let someone go.
Is there a dude that you'd be like, I don't know if I'm getting in the ring with that guy right now?
No, see, the one thing about when I was hiring people to teach me how to fight, you know, they kind of teach you different situations to kind of handle yourself. If someone is bigger than you, if multiple people were coming at you, you know, they prepare you for any situation. So, you know, if somebody was, you know, like Judge was to come at me, I would handle different people differently.
Judge v. Fam. I'm
I'll sign up for that
pay-per-viewing that so hard.
I'm not. I'm saying someone on his side.
I know.
I'm not saying, you know.
Yeah, no, nothing like.
know,
I meant
Miami
like
Beach.
someone like someone
Fambers.
6'8", you know, 280. You know, I'm gonna attack differently than someone, you know, that's, you know, my size.
Meet at the
That's
Statue of
what
Liberty.
I'm trying to, you know, let me clarify that up. Just
Hey, dude.
versus someone's you know,
Subway
2 or
Series
3
showdown,
people.
Fam Judge at the Statue of Liberty pay-per-view.
Statue of
Who you
Liberty.
got?
I'm just saying that would be
Y'all
that would be
trying-
awesome.
No, we're
we're
totally
messing,
joking.
Tom.
We're
What
totally
y'all
joking.
trying
We're not
to do
gonna. We're totally joking.
We're totally messing, dude. But we very much appreciate having you on. Last thing I wanted to ask you about actually was your thoughts on the rules and all that. You've been in the league for a while now, so like when the ump's going, hey, you got to get in the box quicker. Like, is that cool with you? I know you're a thinker, right? Like you do your homework. The game is everything for you. Has it been a tough adjustment with the pitch clock, or no big deal for you?
Personally, no, and I love it. I love, you know, the games are quicker. We were playing 4-hour games last year, Boston, New York, and spring training. What are we averaging? 2 hours and a half?
2:30 right now.
So then there's way more hits. We're seeing a lot of ground ball hits through the infield that we haven't seen in years, and I love it. I've never really been a guy that kind of stepped out of the box and took a lot of time. I'm always, you know, kind of quick, but I love it.
Small sample size so far. Batting average is up 10, 12 points. Runs, run and a half. Obviously, very small sample size, but hey, that's all we can go in the sample size. And
I think that's going to hold true because from seeing all the ground ball hits that are going through those, you know, 2-3 hoppers now through the infield that I mean, just last year that's right at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. You know, that's 20, 30 points on your average.
Yeah, thanks for me.
And the field looks nicer. You know, like shifts are ugly.
Yeah,
You know, like
That's-
baseball is an aesthetically pleasing game. Like shifts they're ugly.
I've never once looked at a baseball field and been like, man, that shift is ugly. I'm like, damn, that shift took a knock away from me, though. I hate it.
Well, it's the same
You
thing.
know, hey, last year I remember plenty times last year I was the only guy on the left side, and I'm in left field. You know, it's just that's just
Devers
where the
was on the
game
other
was.
side, too?
Man, I'm telling you,
Damn.
shit has changed. Devers was up the middle.
Throw it to the pitcher at third base.
That's
just
the
where
real
game
Port
is going.
St. Lucie, Adam.
Oh,
Or Port St. Lonely, sorry.
we're staying lonely.
Exactly,
Yep, That
exactly.
sounds about right.
The Applebee's back there, there ain't nothing.
Yeah, I'm running out of places to eat out here.
Yo, who's got spots for him? Any of you guys got Port St. Lucie spots?
I never
for
did
Tommy?
Port St. Lucie.
Never did it.
Nope. I got
Nope.
nothing for you, Tommy. But if you
Grind
want a
it.
great, AJ's got dinner for you in Orlando if you want it.
Francisco said he's buying too, so even better.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Francisco's
Yeah, I
agent's
love
buying.
spending, or I love spending people's money that that have a little bit more than me, or a lot more than me.
He got unlimited.
Yep, that's why we got Adam Jones on this show. When he comes around, he's buying.
Dinner's on me, gentlemen.
Hey, Tommy, we appreciate you, man. Good luck spring training. We'd love to have you on again sometime, and give your boy next to you a hard time. He's making his debut on this show today. He's doing pretty well. He's like, oh, hey, guys, I'm going to bring on Lindor, Diaz, Tommy Pham. No big deal to start things off.
You got to get the good people with the personalities,
yeah.
man. You got. That's what this show's about.
A lot of pull.
Thank you, Tommy. Yo, good luck. Appreciate you.
Good luck, Tommy.
Always, baby.
Thanks,
Stay
Tommy.
healthy.
You already know.
Awesome.
I
Not
mean,
bad.
that's pretty good. Adam Jones, way to come through.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to go to a camp one day if you guys want me. I'll start pulling dudes too.
Let's go to camps.
I mean, the problem is
Don't
I'm
talk
stuck
about
with
it.
you.
Be
You're
about
not
it.
I'm stuck with
me.
him in
What do
my
you mean?
house. I
You're not
can't
stuck
leave him
with
here
me.
by myself.
He'll
Oh,
be fine.
I can't go to camp with you?
Oh, you can? I didn't know you were about that.
Yeah. See, we're making plans already. Kratzy, you're at home base. Frazier's in the cold, and we'll hit camps. AJ and me. Come
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, there's one camp. What? We got Adam. We got one camp 15 minutes away.
Yeah, we got the Rays right down the street.
The Rays are right here. We could set that up in 5 seconds. We just figured, we'd start with the Mets. Just like the
Port
talk
Charlotte.
of the offseason. Why not?
Too.
Adam, not bad. You got any presidents or any is
Can't,
Brad Pitt back there?
No, I reached out to Denzel, and he was like, he's busy, scheduling conflict right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some.
Wait, I can beat that then, Adam. Everyone I just mentioned. How about Kenny Ballgame?
Okay.
Kenny Ballgame.
There we
Now
go.
presenting super legendary insider, reporter, writes for The Athletic, longtime friend of all of us. We've all had plenty of conversations with the great Ken Rosenthal, who joins us. And Ken, we've no big deal. We've had Lindor, Edwin Diaz, Tommy Pham, Carlos Correa follows you, so you're fitting in nicely in the cleanup spot. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Scott, but these are hard.
Oh wait, hold on.
Tommy
Do you
especially.
guys hear Kenny?
I don't. Kenny, you're a little quiet. They're having a tough time hearing you. You also look like you're like in the middle of a hurricane. I know you're in Arizona, so was it snowing out there whenever we get your comms back?
It's a little chilly, guys, to be
No,
perfectly
not yet.
honest. 44 degrees right now.
Ooh, that's nice.
You got a 44 degrees. That is
44.
grinder. Jonesy, do you hear him?
Yeah, I hear him a little bit. But
Okay,
you can't
so I
say
guess it's
little.
me
You
and
can't
you
say,
until they
you
get
can't
him.
say little when you mention Rosenthal. That's kind of
Oh,
like me.
my goodness.
Oh, you can say it, Adam. You can say it, and frequently people do say it.
You're a big man. You the goat, man. We appreciate you, man. You covered all of us, and always shine the light on the positive stories and on the right stories. So from a player, I appreciate you just being as professional as you were the whole time, and still are. And
Thank
calling
you,
out
Adam.
people. Love that the most.
Yeah,
Happens once in a while. It does.
I love it. So what do you got for us, Kenny? What do you got? You got your winter jacket on. It looks like something's coming in. You're reporting for the Weather Channel, but now you're reporting for foul territory. What do you got for us?
Well, actually, I was talking to Mike Trout this morning. I'm at Angels camp, and I was doing some interviews for Fox. And I said, Mike, you're an expert on the weather, but evidently you don't control the weather. And, yeah, he doesn't. It's cold. But I was at Angels camp this morning, like I said, and interviewing a number of Angels players. Guys at spring training, I know people are always optimistic, but these guys feel like this finally is a team that can win. Now, we've heard it all before from the Angels. I don't know that they can be trusted necessarily, but they are deeper than they've been in the past. Permanation did a great job bringing in a number of different players just to kind of thicken the roster. I'm talking about Renfroe and Tyler Anderson and all these guys. And Trout was very honest this morning. He said, we've got to win. And I asked him about signing a long-term deal here and people always asking him, hey, why'd you do that? Why don't you want out of there? And he said again, he wants to win here, but he was unequivocal about there being a certain urgency this year. And the players seem to really like Nevin as their manager, Phil Nevin. So I'm interested, really fascinated to see this team play. They're a different group, obviously, than they've been in the past. And their bullpen's a little bit better with Estevez and Matt Moore. So fingers crossed we'll see a competitive Angels team this year.
So what's the difference? What's the big difference? Because the last time they were in the playoffs, my Royals team beat them handily, and then we went on and beat Jonesy's Orioles team, which was pretty easy too. I mean, we're Jonesy, but what's the difference? You can't tell me a team with arguably the two of the best three players in the game shouldn't be in the playoffs every single year. Is Tyler Anderson going to be the one? Is Phil Nevin, is he laying the hammer down in the clubhouse? I know Phil. Phil can lay the hammer down. What is it that from what you're seeing?
The difference, I would say, to start off with, Eric, is health. And Rendon is healthy. We didn't see him much last year. Trout is healthy. He didn't have a full season by any stretch of the imagination. And then the depth pieces that I was talking about, those guys. Hunter Renfroe is a good example. Is Hunter Renfroe a great player? No. But he's the kind of guy who can help you win. And they are better protected now if they do have injuries. I just feel that their pitching staff was underrated, especially by the end of last season. It was better than we all thought. So there are differences here. Now, the key thing, obviously, is going to be Trout staying healthy, Ohtani staying healthy, Rendon staying healthy. Those are their big three. Trout and Ohtani, of course, the biggest two. But I can see a world in which they are competitive and a contender, especially with 3 wild cards. And I can see a world like with most teams where things can come apart a little bit.
It's like what Kratz said, though. The Angels' problem has never been offense. We know but you can't. Mike Trout beat 3 for 4, 2 home runs. You lose 7-4. What's going to be? Is the pitching staff really that improved? And do you think they're going to, if they're on the mend, say come June, because they need a good start, but come June, you think they'll be in the market to get somebody, as Houston will be, as the Dodgers and there's always big players. You think they'll be a big player?
I do. And Adam, it's interesting. We think of them as a team that is always fine with its offense, but last year was kind of the flip from what you just said. Their offense was a problem because they had so many guys out. And Phil Nevin said this morning, basically, there were days he didn't know who was going to play that day, who he could put in his lineup. Now, this year, the pitching staff is back healthy. Anderson does make a difference more, and Estevez in the bullpen, they make a difference. Guy like Sandoval is coming on. Ohtani, we know what he can do as a pitcher. So they are a group that seemingly, on paper, should be able to compete. Are they Houston? No, they're not Houston. But for a third wild card, yeah, I can see where they would be better. And if the offense, which was a problem last year, is healthy, as we discussed earlier, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you're seeing from the Padres camp, all their spending and how they're just basically pissing on the whole small market idea.
Well, they certainly have done that. And I actually haven't been to their camp yet, but I've written about them a whole bunch this year. And a lot of people are wondering how they're doing this. Can they sustain it? Actually, the commissioner himself raised that question. This is all well and good, but the question is, for a team like that, can you sustain it? Their owner, Peter Seidler, insists that they can, that essentially he is spending money to make money. They're going to draw a record attendance this year. They cut off their season ticket number at like 24,000, I think it was, because they had too many requests and they wanted to leave single game seats available, or enough of them. So clearly this is a team that on paper is really dangerous, even with the Musgrove injury. And with the Dodgers seemingly taking a step back both in payroll and now with Lux getting injured, the Padres should be primed to have a really big year. Now, Soto is around for 2 more years. They've got pretty much everyone else long term. I expect that they're going to be good for quite a while. And What's going to be really interesting is to see how it all does evolve. I don't expect that they can re-sign Juan Soto. He's represented by Scott Boras. I believe Scott Boras wants him to go to the open market, and understandably so. Remember, he rejected 15 years, $440 million from the Nationals. So here's a guy that the Padres will try to sign, but they can't keep all of these players. So I would expect that this 2-year window is going to be really important for them, simply to, well, for lack of a better term, win a World Series, because they've got to get there. They have to, with all the money that they've spent, perform to the capabilities of their players. And listen, it's not always easy to do. Adam's at Mets camp today. I love the Mets. I love what they've done. Are they a lock? No, they're not a lock. And certainly with the age in the rotation, things can go awry for them. So it's baseball, man. You guys know this better than anyone. Things happen. Things don't always go the way teams plan. But the Padres, at least from a fan standpoint, you have to like what they're doing.
So we talk about markets. The Padres are 27, 28. The Orioles are the other,
Right.
27 to 28.
Mhm.
Vast difference in spending. One is at 200, almost 300 million. One is 60. Honestly, I don't even know what the Orioles payroll is. I know it's not, obviously it's not high, but how does, again, it's like, so how does that work? How is one owner able to spend 200 million, but one owner isn't? Like, I don't understand. If everybody's rich, it's all hell. We know that everybody's rich, but what makes the difference? How can one guy spend in one? I guess that's the economics part that I really don't understand. Even as a player, I never understood. I just took the money.
Adam, I'm not sure I understand it either, but I would say that some of these guys are richer than others. Steve Cohen is the baddest. He is the richest of them all. And the Orioles situation is a little bit in flux right now. Their owner, Peter Angelos, is incapacitated, has been for really about 5 years. His son, John, is running the team. Where they are financially, with the way their attendance has dropped in recent years, and just where they are in general, it's not great. It's not a situation where they feel they can go out and spend like a San Diego, and maybe they don't have the wherewithal to spend like a San Diego. Not all these owners are as wealthy as each other. They all have different portfolios, for lack of a better term. So with the Orioles, I wrote this today. All right, they didn't do much in free agency after a lot of people thought that they would, but they have this farm system. And Adam, I wish you could see it if you go over to Sarasota.
I was there yesterday.
Okay, man, it is stunning to see the young talent that they have. I can't remember all my years covering this team, it goes back to 1987, seeing a group of young players quite this good. So what they have is the ability to leverage that young talent and make trades and add payroll that way. It's not the same as signing a free agent. But, for example, if at the deadline the Orioles are in it and Milwaukee is not in it, you go get Corbin Burns. He's under control for a couple more years. That is the kind of move that they are capable of making. They have in their organization 5 or 6 infielders who are really good. 4 of them are top 100 prospects.
Yeah.
Not all of them are going to play in the big leagues. A lot of them will, and a lot of them will play for the Orioles, but you have to pick and choose. You have to figure out which ones are going to hit for you and pop, and then maybe trade some of the others for other pieces you might need, particularly in their case, starting pitching.
Yeah, that energy was insane yesterday. It was my first time back there since my departure, and you could just feel the energy. Rushman obviously is the lead catalyst, but I looked at Jackson Holiday. I'm like, well, damn if you ain't a spitting image of your daddy. Just already cock diesel, just like his daddy. I'm like, damn. It's a different era. These kids are bigger, stronger, faster, and it's fun to see that because they got a lot of hunger. And I said it in Baltimore interviews that they're going to they have a target on their back this year because they won last year. They didn't just lay down to the Yankees, the Blue Jays. So this year, the teams are going to be like, oh, well, damn it, I can't just, the Orioles in town, I got to bring my P's and Q's because they're not an easy victory. Because when I first got there, go to Toronto, Holiday just shoves 8 innings, 8 2/3, game's over in 2 hours, 10 minutes. And, we were a doormat. Then we weren't. Then we went back to it. Now they're punching people in the face, and I love to see it.
Well, they went through a lot of pain to get here, right? They tanked. They went all the way down. And when you do that, you better hit on your draft picks, and you better do it right going up and trying to reverse what you were before. And with Mike Elias, their GM, he was a guy who helped build Houston, another team that tanked, and did it successfully because what happened? Correa, McCullers, Kyle Tucker, Bregman, all these guys through the draft. The Orioles have replicated that model. They're kind of in the same spot Houston was maybe, 2015, 16. They're coming. There's no question that they're coming. Now, I would like to see them ideally spend a little more money, spend a lot more money, but if they're not in that position, okay, then you leverage the kids, you use the kids, and they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be exciting. They're a little bit short starting pitching maybe, but I'm really interested to see that team play this year.
Yeah, same here.
And if it's not this year, maybe soon. Speaking of soon, Gavin Lux was one of those prospects. Now he was getting an opportunity to play shortstop every day for a World Series contender. Whether you think he was going to be good or not, what are the Dodgers doing now, and what are you hearing from there, or what do you see as their next step besides Miguel Rojas?
Well, their options aren't great, and they have Miguel Rojas. They have Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor didn't play a lot of shortstop last year. His elbow was a problem for him. They can maybe survive with that. Maybe they can sign a free agent like Jose Iglesias or Andrelton Simmons. They can trade for someone as well, though it's kind of a funny time to be making trades. Jorge Mateo with the Orioles, there's a possibility they can go trade him and play Henderson at shortstop, but they're talking up Mateo pretty big in that camp. They want to see what he can do offensively, whether he can make the same leap that he did defensively last year. Taylor Wells, okay. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, if the Yankees want to do that and just go with Peraza at short, there are possibilities that they have from a trade perspective. They're in an interesting spot because, as we've talked about, they've gone backwards on payroll, and beyond that, they've got a hole now, not just at shortstop, but remember, they don't really have a center fielder. Bellinger's gone. They non-tendered him. He signed with the Cubs. Looks like they're going to go with Trace Thompson. Chris Taylor was probably going to be part of that mix. But if Chris Taylor is in the infield, then they're not quite as deep in the outfield. They have a lot of young players that they're trying to mix in. So I get what they're doing, and they've got a great farm system, and they've done this right for years. But right now, it's a little alarming to see what has happened to them, especially when you compare it to the Padres, who have, 16 shortstops on their roster? Not playing at all at shortstop, but that's where they are right now. And it's interesting that the Dodgers are in this position. Lux was not a sure thing, but they were really high on him, and they were really eager to see what he could do at the position this year. And that injury, that was tough to watch. It's tough to accept as someone who watches the game, likes the game, loves the game, because you see a guy, he's finally getting his chance. He's been bounced around. He was a top prospect. When I say bounced around, from position to position. And now it's going to be a full year on the shelf, essentially, when he was just on the verge of finally getting his opportunity.
I wanted to ask you about the rules. Obviously, that's the main topic of spring training right now. What has been the vibe, the temperament? Some guys like it, some guys don't. Adjustment periods, there's going to be some tweaking. Obviously, you can't have a guy in the game because he's not in the damn box in the ninth inning, like the first day it happened. Like, you can't have that. I get it in the first, second inning, seventh, eighth inning. We're not doing that. You think there's going to be some tweaking to it? It has to be.
I don't know, Adam. I think, from what I understand, Major League Baseball is pretty adamant that they're going to be strict about this and that these things are going to be enforced. And let's face it, guys, no disrespect to any player or any former player, but the players had this coming because they were not in the box. They were not moving the game along, and this is what the result of it is. Now, there is an adjustment period, but Adam, you talk to different players and they'll tell you different things. Of course, we're talking about with 40-man rosters, 1,200 players in the major leagues, or at least on 40-man rosters. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. A lot of the players, a healthy percentage, have played in the minor leagues with the pitch clock, and they already are accustomed to it. So they're fine. Then you have major leaguers like Max Scherzer who are already looking to see, all right, how can I use this to my advantage? And Scherzer talked about this with reporters the other day. Well, there's a lot he can do, right? He can hold the ball. He can pitch as soon as the hitter has his eyes on him. There are a number of different tactics that the pitchers will use to try to game the system, and I believe that they will use, not just Scherzer, but others. But then there are some players, pitchers especially, who are not happy about this. And I interviewed Zach Wheeler the other day for Fox. And Zach Wheeler made the point that great at bat last year in Game 5 of the NLCS, Bryce Harper and Robert Suarez, really maybe the most memorable at bat of the season. Of course, it ended with Harper's series-deciding home run. Well, there was some drama in that at bat, and there was some drama in that at bat, not only because it extended, but because the guys were kind of taking their time and making sure everything was set. The pitcher Suarez, the hitter Harper, it was not rushed.
It was 40 seconds.
That is the one thing I kind of worry about. I worry about the postseason because that is a time when you need to slow it down at times, especially. And this is going to be different. But I do expect, as with all the rules changes in recent years that we've had, that there's going to be an adjustment period, but there's also going to be a time when players just accept it and understand this is part of the game and this is where it is now. I like the idea behind it. I like the fact that the game is going to move along better. I do want to see all of the unintended consequences that are going to result, not just from the pitch clock, but also from the bases being larger, the limited disengagements from the mound that all should enhance stolen bases, the effects of the shift. This is going to play out, and it's going to be really interesting, and there'll be plenty to write about all year long and plenty for us to talk about. For instance, guys, I wonder about the pitchers. Will this lead to perhaps more injuries because they're moving at a faster pace? Will it mean that offense improves because guys can't be just cranking up 100 when there's not as much recovery time between pitches? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Hey, Ken. AJ, we're back. Scott and I are back. So, first of all, I think you're in Tempe, but I mean, you're in Arizona for goodness sake. Like, you're bundled up like you're in Alaska. So, I mean, come on. And then,
AJ, all right. I knew this was coming. It's 44, man. Now, it's getting a little warmer here. The sun's come out since I started talking to you, so I could take off this jacket right now if I wasn't holding my phone. But, man, 44 degrees is not like 84.
Yeah, but you're from up north. You should be used to it by now. You know, your blood hasn't thinned that quickly.
I'm from up north, but I'm not tough, okay?
Okay. See, now that's what I wanted to hear. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Also, Ken, tell him where he is. He's in Orlando. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right.
All right, so Ken.
AJ, not only is he in Orlando, he's in this like beautiful man cave he's got there.
It is.
With Scott living with me.
Actually, my second apartment. But yeah.
So Ken, I think you're in Tempe. Are you in Tempe? You're in Tempe Diablo, right? The Angels today.
Tempe Diablo, yes.
We have Adam Jones at Mets camp, and everyone's talking. He's calling it Port St. Lonely. So, what's your favorite spring training stadium? And what's your favorite spring? You're going to say Phoenix. So narrow it down in Phoenix for your favorite spring training, I guess, area would be.
Okay, this is an easy answer for me. It's the complex that Adam was in briefly for his last season, Salt River Complex, where the Rockies and Diamondbacks train. Guys, I will say it is not only my favorite spring training facility because it's beautiful and modern and it's just an incredible setting. It's one of my favorite places in the world. Now, you might say, Ken, you've got a very limited world view. That's true, I do. But the Salt River Complex is really, really nice. And I know, Adam, you got there late in 19 and maybe didn't get the full drift of it, but it's a pretty sweet place.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, what about Florida? Come on, can I get some love for Florida?
Florida favorite spring training complex?
Yeah.
Now, it's a little bit of a tougher sell, Florida. The complexes aren't as great. The
You're not welcome back.
No, the new Braves complex is pretty beautiful, though. That's near Venice, AJ?
Yeah.
And it's really well done. And in fact, I was there a couple of weeks ago, and they were explaining to me that when the hurricane hit, that was one of the areas that got hit pretty hard, that the dirt on the infield was actually lifted off the ground. So they had to replace all the dirt on all of the fields, the 6, 7, 8 fields that were there. And they brought in something like 500 tons of dirt. It was incredible, 500 tons of clay. And you don't always appreciate just how beautiful these complexes are and how immaculate they are and how well kept that they are. But the people who took care of that place, they did an amazing job, man.
That's why the Rays are in Orlando, because of the hurricane.
Yes.
The Rays are at Disney World because
Yes.
of the same thing.
I know that.
Hey, Ken, last one for you. We are going to run our Carlos Correa interview, which we did with him last night, and there's some fire in there, as you'd imagine. Carlos is one of the most candid and very well-spoken players in the game, right? Like he is not a cookie cutter answer guy, right? You've been covering him for a long time. You had some great articles about the whole situation with the Giants and the Mets and all of that. So before we run that, we just wanted to get your take on that whole thing and what you learned from your conversations with him and agents and everyone else about what went down.
Well, first of all, Carlos is a guy that after they won the 2017 World Series, he got engaged to his now wife with me interviewing him. So we have that history. That was kind of a special moment, certainly for him and even for me being part of that. And then I did that interview with him. You guys might remember this. This was in 19, after the Athletic reported on the sign stealing, and after the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger in specific, said some things about the Astros. And Carlos went on with me. We aired it on MLB Network, and that interview was wild. He had a lot to say. So he is one of the best interviews in the game. And as for his free agency, what happened this winter, guys, I've been doing this a long time. That was the wildest free agency I've ever covered. And I don't know that there's anything even close. To see a guy go from one team to another team and then finally to his original team, back to his original team, that was something that was just really unheard of in free agency. And it happened for a reason, because doctors with two teams saw that ankle and didn't like what the long-term prognosis was. Now, he's been healthy, and he has never sat because of that issue that he had in, I think, 2014 when he broke his fibula while in the minor leagues. But apparently what the doctors saw, and I'm sure he'll talk about this, is not something that they were very encouraged about. He's a guy who is in amazing shape. He takes great care of himself physically. He is, even among all major leaguers, right at the top in that regard. So I expect, and he has told me, that he will take extra care to make sure that ankle stays strong, to make sure that leg stays strong. And I frankly expect him to have a big year and a big career. If you remember, J.D. Martinez, J.D. Drew, and Pudge Rodriguez, they were three guys that had their contracts altered because stuff came up in their physicals. And the way their contracts read, if things happened in a certain area of their body during their time with the team that they signed with, that the contracts were going to take some kind of different shape or form. All of those guys never had those injuries come into play. So what Scott Boras, Correa's agent, has said is that Carlos is functional. He has functional ability on the baseball field, even though he has this condition. And you guys know this from having played. You sometimes have different physical abnormalities, for lack of a better term, or issues, and you can play with them. Now, maybe this is worse, maybe it isn't, we don't know. But to this point, he has played with it, and we'll see how it goes from here.
I think it's the same thing with like Machado. I was right there when he had 2 knee surgeries and 15-year contract basically with the Padres. So it's like,
Yep.
You never know. We all battling something. If you scope everybody's shoulders, knees, hips, you're gonna be, damn, like we all messed up. That comes with playing sports. I'm like, I don't know. It must have been something they really hated. Already got calcification or something already in the joint. Something I don't know.
Hey, Ken, to Adam's point, like, yes, we all have problems. If you do any pitcher's elbow or shoulder, you're going to find something. And I asked Carlos, I'm like, hey, do you think this was like almost like buyer's remorse from the Giants? Like, because if the doctors want to push him through, like, I feel like a doctor can push you through if they really want to. I might be crazy because I'm a player and I look at it like that, or a former player. But is there any, like, I mean, give me your insider's take. Like, do you feel like the Giants doctors, if the Giants front office would have went to the doctor and said, hey, we really we'll kill to have this guy, could they have shoved him through? Or even the Mets, and then thoughts?
AJ, I actually asked that question, and the Giants did not feel that way. They wanted Correa, and they wanted this to work. They were excited about having him as an organization. He was excited about being there. The Mets, there is no question that they wanted him badly. If you remember, Steve Cohen told John Heyman in the New York Post right after he signed him, this is the final piece. He said that even before Correa took his physical. That's how excited he was. He kind of took that chance to comment before the physical was complete. So it doesn't seem to me that buyer's remorse was an issue here. The doctors, what they saw, that was the issue. And it's like anything else with medicine. There are different opinions. And maybe those teams, the Giants and Mets, will be proven correct. Maybe they won't. We don't know. But this is something now, and Correa is the kind of guy who is very equipped to handle it. But it's something that's going to follow him his entire career. People are always going to wonder, all right, is he about to break down? What's up with Carlos? And I'm quite interested to see how this all plays out.
And he's got some plans on how to combat that, which we're about to run too.
True.
So Ken, enjoy it out there. Stay warm for AJ, please. Ship us a jacket in case it gets to the 50s in Orlando at night for AJ. But we really appreciate it. We're freaking excited as can be to have you be a part of all of this. As you can see, we got a pretty good group here. So thank you, Ken, and we'll talk to you again next week. Okay.
Thank you, Scott. I'm loving it, man. You guys doing a great job, and it's great to be a part of it, honestly.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. Safe travels. We'll talk to you soon. Ken Rosenthal with us out there in Arizona, Kenny Ballgame. Awesome.
Thanks, Ken. Bundle up.
I love it.
Bundle up, Ken.
The AJ Pierzynski, Ken Rosenthal dynamic is going to be real good.
Okay, so we work together.
I know.
Fox, right? And we have some of the most spirited like in the car rides to and from the games when we get to work together. And then every once in a while we get on the air and I'll ask him a question he can't answer. Like, who are you voting for MVP? And he'll say, like, I don't have an MVP vote, or if I did, or I do have one this year, but I can't tell you until it becomes public, is when it's awesome with Ken. He'll sit there and he'll give you 50 reasons why Bryce Harper is the MVP, and I'll argue that Goldschmidt should be the MVP. And it's just, he's the best. I love Ken, and we went back and forth my whole career, and he's the ultimate baseball knowledge guy.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, that's why we have him on,
Yeah.
Like, unfiltered Ken Rosenthal is a beautiful thing. And he knows every player. I knew the Correa thing. I forgot about that. Like, he was part of the whole proposal and everything else. So that'll be fun. We'll have to get Ken in a room next time, though.
Yeah, I mean, what was he? He was like outside on the street.
I don't want to pick on him, but he's probably, just for everyone to know, he's probably doing this. So if you're at home, if you do this for like 40 minutes straight, you're going to feel it a little bit.
There's no way.
On the arms.
First of all, he could have propped it on like a stool and been looking up at it.
Well, we're gonna get him a nice selfie stick. So
yes, please.
Yeah.
But he was at Tempe Diablo, and I wanted to say, hey, go inside. There's a little that area a little sketchy, bro.
No doubt. Outside that stadium, it's definitely you just gotta drive fast. Slow down at the stop signs. You ain't stopping.
Oh man, go inside, bro.
Epic. All right, so I want to do one thing on the big news from yesterday, or from game purposes, big news from yesterday, and it relates to who we're going to bring on, and then Adam's on the road again, so we'll let him go when we air Carlos Correa coming up in just a second. But Andrew Painter is like all the talk in Philadelphia right now, and we have Eric Kratz on the scene in the Philly area. 19-year-old, one of the best pitching prospects in the sport. Correa is going to talk about him in the interview, but he's pumping 99, and he's going to be a part of this team this year, maybe out of camp. I don't know, Kratz, you let me know. And then he's got the cutter going now that he learned in the offseason. He's locker next to Zach Wheeler. Like, they are prepping this kid to be a star.
Yeah, and I obviously didn't get to watch him because my little bit of time was only in Philly, but I would make a trip to go and watch this guy at whatever minor league stop he's at this year, but I don't think it's going to be very long. The way they're talking about him, the way I talked to one of the people in the organization just this morning, yes, his stuff is unbelievable. Yes, he's throwing 99. He wasn't afraid to use a pitch. He just started a month ago. All that stuff is awesome, but they're talking about his makeup, how he handles just everything that's going on. He's in a camp right now with a lot of elite players on a team that just went to the World Series. And I think there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure in any big market. I think sometimes Philly doesn't get its due for a big market. They get their due for the fans who are tougher on their players. But he has that intangible that, yes, his stuff is going to fluctuate. Yes, he's going to give up hits. He gave up 3 hits. He gave up a run yesterday. But his makeup is what they talked about. He gives an interview to somebody. He looks them in the eye. He's 19 years old. Like Correa knows something about being a 19-year-old, 20-year-old in the big leagues and being elite. And this kid got to face him yesterday. And there's a lot of high praise from him. And the high praise is up and down from coaches to front office to the media in Philly. And they are super juiced about this kid.
Adam, have you heard about Mr. Painter?
I've heard a little bit about him. But again, when spring training is the time to shine, it's always good. Every time I ever had a meeting with teams, it's always, hey, you got opportunity to do something here. You young arms, you outfielders, you base runners, you got a unique opportunity, especially in big league camp, to open some eyes, not just open the coach's eyes, but when you have players talking to like, hey man, I like that dude, and that trickles down, and that means that it's like whenever somebody your name's in someone's mouth, it's generally a good thing, or is it bad publicity? Good publicity, it doesn't matter. But no, it's exciting, and they put him by Wheeler, Nola. Like they got some veterans over there that can really groom this kid. And again, the most important thing is to stay healthy. But at the same time, you're talking about his makeup, Kratzy. That's the biggest thing. There's so many guys with big arms, big personalities, and can't stay on the field. Number one thing is to stay between them lines. That's the only way to make money in this game. And if he already has the between the ears locked down, all he has to do is just worry about throwing the pill over the plate. And sky's the limit for these dudes, man. They're huge too. They're not like they're no 5'2", or I'm sorry, like 5'10", 6'2" guys no more. These dudes is 6'7", 6'8", Kratzy, big hell like you.
He's 6'7", 210.
And he ain't even eaten yet.
Exactly. He's freshman in college age.
So the first time
peanut butter and jelly sandwich with bananas. That's what he just got.
Yummy. That sounds good right now.
They are good. I missed up.
Uncrustables. No one can beat Uncrustables. I'd love.
They don't have Uncrustables in Europe though. Where
they have. Say, I'm at Mets, and I've seen a couple in their kitchen. I'm gonna definitely grab one for the road.
So
I haven't had one in like a year.
Yeah. So the first time I heard of Andrew Painter was 2 springs ago. And he was in Calvary Academy, and I think it's Fort Lauderdale. He was their big guy, right? So my son plays 2021. They're in our classification in Florida baseball in 3A. And we're like, oh, no, we're going to have to play. If we're going to have a chance, because we had a good team, we're like, if we're going to have a chance to win the state, we're going to have to play Calvary. We're going to have to play Calvary in Tampa, Berkeley, Bowles, all these big schools. And Calvary lost because they didn't pitch Andrew Painter in a playoff game, and they lost to a team, and we were like, thank you. And we ended up winning the state championship. But I was like, if we would have had to face a guy throwing 98 in high school, we had a good team, but that was trouble.
98, and he knows where it's going too.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
That's why he was a first-round pick. And,
exactly.
He was 6'7" in high school throwing 95. Kratz. You guys ain't got that in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
No, we're not seeing that. I'm just thinking about other 19-year-olds. Jonesy, when you were in the fall league, were you 19 when you switched over to center field?
I just turned 20.
You just turned 20. Okay.
20.
I remember playing against Jonesy when he was 19, 20. And I remember thinking, man, like I was 25 out there. I'm like, this league's overwhelming for me. This dude's he's changing a position when I was a sophomore in college. Like this is something I think is glossed over, and I hope this show hits on it. Like to be able to do that at that age, at that level, I'm so impressed with you guys. Like AJ, to be able to step in the big leagues at the catching position at the age you did, and Jonesy being able to step into the big leagues on a team that, you essentially start carrying to the playoffs years later at that age after a huge trade from the Mariners. Like I don't know, man. I'm impressed with you guys all the time. So this is where I'm my Ken Rosenthal. I'm a fan right now.
Jonesy, was he like the awkward old man in the Arizona Fall League? 25. Like that's like
we didn't play together.
That's ancient back there.
But we had some guys. Remember George Kataris? He was like 24, 20. Yeah, he was up there. I mean, one of my other friends, Gary Harris. There was some some older guys. Corey Hart, he was a kind of a late bloomer too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Corey Hart was there. Dan Ugala was there. Dan Ugala, he was just trying to.
There you go.
That's where that year everybody had their young guys, but I'm impressed with the young guys. Like it was like you, Denard Span, Jeff Clement,
Alcides Escobar was there. He was the youngest guy in the whole thing. He just turned 18.
He was just 18. He still looks like he's 18, but his body is like he's like 50.
But no, we all got journeys, man. That's the coolest thing is that we can be first rounders, you can be 20th rounders. We all our journeys are so unique and cool. That's the coolest part about it is to share your stories, man. Because none of them is they all sound like they're gonna be great. Because we all got to the major leagues, but there's a lot of trials and tribulations in that. Even if you had the good careers with all stars, there's still trials and tribulations.
Yep.
And we'll talk to all those guys on this show. Good news, we're on every damn day live. So Adam, it's so awesome to have you, man. We're about to run Correa. I know you're running around. So when we got you back next week, what's the travel schedule coming up? I don't need the full itinerary because we don't have 2 hours on 90 cities in 90 days. But like, is there something good going on next week? Are you staying in the States?
So I'm gonna be back in Barcelona for next week. My son's 9th birthday. He wants me to be back there. I'm gonna take him to the FC Barcelona game. We're gonna sit on the floor. You know what I mean? The basketball game, not FC football. We're gonna sit on the floor. It's 180 euros. It's not 12,000 like it is here for the NBA. So we take his friends, sit on the court. I'm come back for the WBC, the semifinals, and then once opening day starts, my wife we're going to Kruger National Park down in South Africa, and then Mauritius. I'm gonna golf like hell while everybody goes and be at the beach. I don't care about the beach. I'm gonna golf and have my margaritas. Leave me the hell alone.
As long as they have Wi-Fi, we'll talk to them everywhere. Hell yeah!
I don't know.
It's the one and only. They got Wi-Fi. One and only got Wi-Fi. Kruger ain't gonna have it.
Kruger, I've been to Kruger. They don't got no Wi-Fi.
They don't have Wi-Fi, right?
They ain't got Wi-Fi in Kruger. They got elephants though, and lions and all kinds of stuff, but they ain't got no Wi-Fi.
Varsity's good, and I will say this, Adam, because I'm a big basketball guy growing up. I've been to FC Barca basketball when Ricky Rubio was there. I went over to see, and it is a scene. It feels like an amplified, like my high school had a big basketball scene. It's like
it feels like Duke.
Yes, exactly.
International Duke. The stadium is small as hell, and they don't shut up. I'm like, damn, I get it. Y'all down by 15. Shut the hell up.
It's like World Cup, right? Like they're singing, they're dancing. It's like a soccer game, but jammed inside a gym, basically. And the guys are amazing though. Like some of the guys are either coming over as college all-stars from the States, or guys that are younger in Europe that are going to go over and be stars in the NBA. So have fun, man. This was awesome. Hope you enjoyed it. This was what awesome. We talked about. This is what it's all about, right?
Heck yeah.
See you, Jonesy.
All right, brother. See you guys.
See you, Adam. Have safe travels.
All righty.
Adam Jones.
Does he live in Barcelona? To the team. Like he's like my 9-year-old's over there.
No, he's in Arizona.
But he's flying over to Europe like every week? I mean, that's – oh, see, there you go.
Oh, he's still there.
Full time.
I thought you lived in Arizona.
No, I sold that house, made some money. Now we just got our golden visa. I'm foreign, brother. I'm foreign.
Man, I didn't know that because I was in Barcelona. You could have taken me out on the town. You could have bought me dinner in Barcelona.
Oh, patatas bravas on me next time, brother.
Oh, there we go. Hey, you got to go to you been to Paradiso yet, the bar?
Yeah, number one. That's right now number one in the world.
Man,
long-ass line for no reason.
You get there early. You go all the way through the list. They take you to the super secret.
Yeah.
The super secret spot.
But they got a long line for no reason. Like, you get in there, it's like, hold on, there's 15 people in there. It's a seat for 60. Kiss my ass. Hold me out here for all this game.
Tell him.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, Jonesy.
Good talking to you.
Unplug so you don't hear what's talking behind your back.
Amazing. All right, so we're going to finish. We got to do slap hands now because then we're going to run. Actually, no, we're going to run Correa. Then we'll do slap hands. So, all right, ready for this? How do you want to let the world
best
know?
interview I've ever been a part of. I mean, when you watch this, I'm probably going to look like a fool because I was like so blown away by what this guy says, what he is about, and how mature he is. I mean, I know he's 29 now, but still, like the way he talks and the way he talks about his career, how he won his gold glove, now he's a platinum glover. Like the way he talks about analytics, he taught me so much in this, 45, 50 minutes. Do not go away. Watch this. It is worth it. Get your kids, if they want to play baseball at the next level, this is what it's about. And this guy, I mean, he's an amazing. Listen, I've only talked to him a little bit in person, but the 50-minute conversation we're about to have, the three of us and him, was one of the best baseball conversations I've ever had.
He's an open book. So, of course, we're getting into the offseason. He was the story of the offseason, right? Who's getting Carlos Correa? And I mean, you never see that. He signed with three spots.
And I've never seen him this open. Like Ken talked about a little bit, but
yes.
Talked about his ankle. He talks about his teams. He talks about what he does with the Twins every day, how he's, come back helping the young guys, what he does to take care of his body, how he plans to prove them all wrong about his ankle. I mean, there's things in there that he talks about, and you're like, wait, it can't be true. And it's right out of his mouth.
All right, let's run it. Carlos Correa with us on Foul Territory for a special interview. Let's bring in the Twins' big money signing. It's their franchise player, former #1 overall pick, all the accolades, Platinum Gold Glove. And this is big. Former teammates with Eric Kratz for a hot minute. Carlos Correa on Foul Territory. We've been talking about this for a while. Carlos has spring training going. First off, how's the fam? Another kid coming on the way in T-minus how many days?
Yeah, we got a week left, man. A week left. Family's great. Spring training is going great. Here, putting in the work with the boys. Excited just to be back here. There's a lot of work to be done, but looking at how the guys showed up and the shape that they showed up in and the work that we're putting in, I think we're going to be in a great spot. And, back home, my wife called me yesterday in the middle of the game, so I wasn't playing yesterday. But I like to stay, to watch the young guys play and see how they're going out with their business. And around the third inning, one of my guys comes to the dugout and he's like, hey, your wife is calling you, like she needs you right now. So I go running to the clubhouse. I get on my phone. I call her right away. She's like, I think it's happening. I'm getting a lot of pain. I'm getting all these contractions, blah, blah. I'm going to the hospital right now. So, I book a flight right away. I'm on my way to the airport. And then the doctor saw her, and then she was like, you got some small contractions, but it's a false alarm. We're still good for next week. If you feel anything in the next couple of days, let me know. But so far, you're good. So I was already at the airport, ready to fly to Houston, and it was a false alarm. So I drove back to my apartment and play the game today.
That is wild.
So, congratulations about the baby. You're jumping on that PJ to go to Houston. You're not taking like Southwest from Fort Myers. You have a PJ on standby, right? You're not, because if you're like a false alarm and turn around going home, Southwest, they might refund your $200 for your ticket, but you got that private jet, right?
Well, I was going Southwest, brother.
No chance. There's no chance.
Yeah.
No, you signed for $300 or $200 million. You ain't flying Southwest.
I'm a simple man, brother. I like my Southwest. I like my United. I like my Delta. I don't spend any money on private flights. I never done it. I will never will. If somebody invites me and wants to split because it makes sense, then maybe. But just to go on a trip for 2 hours, get on a private plane, that's not me, brother.
Kratzy,
you got two kids. You got 2 kids now. Or soon in a week. Don't let your wife know how much you signed for because she's going to be getting on that private jet. She's like, I'm not flying it. She's going to Chicago. She's going to LA. She's not going to go to Cincinnati, but she's going to the big cities. And she doesn't want to take 2 kids on the Southwest, even if she's A, booking. No, she's going. She wants that PJ. And that's a great gift for a good push gift. PJ to Chicago.
That'll be a great gift. She's getting one to go to Minnesota with the entire family and the 3 dogs and the 2 babies, but that's how it is. You get one a year.
Okay, that's fair.
She got to get home too, so she gets around one trip. Right? She got to get back, right? She can't.
We're
just
driving 18 hours back.
Driving?
No chance.
Last year, my father-in-law drove back with some of the guys from my team, and I flew back with my wife and her mom and the baby. But now we got 2 babies, So you might be right. It might be 2 this time.
Amazing.
All right, so we got to ask. I know I know the Twins doctors. The ankle. What do we got? The ankle's good, right? The ankle, everything's good. Can you? You can tell us what you want to tell us, but I want to know because you were the biggest story this offseason. Did you get a Giants tattoo? Did you get a Mets tattoo somewhere? Because, you're there for these press conferences. And then I heard about you working with the Twins guys this offseason. So, what happened? Tell me in your words, because as a former player, I want to hear it from a player. What happened?
Well, what happened was I had a surgery in 2014. I broke my fibula sliding into third base. I slid late. My cleat got caught, broke my fibula, so needed surgery on my foot. And they repaired it, and then from then I played with no problems for 8 years, 8 seasons in the big leagues, one more in the minor leagues, and I never had a problem. So I'm going into the Giants physical thinking, this is a no brainer. Like for sure, I'm passing this physical. I mean, I played last year, no issues at all. I felt the best I've ever felt in my life. In the off season, like 3 days after the season was over, I was back in the gym. I was already taking ground balls and hitting. So I was like doing full baseball activities, getting ready for spring training when I went for this physical. So I'm thinking, no doubt about it, I'm passing. And then when Scott called me, I came into the room. He told me it was the ankle, and I said, "What?" So I was confused. It was shocking. The news were very surprising to me and my family because there is zero treatments logged into my medical records in MLB. So it's not like I'm spending every single day of my career in the training room before games. So I'm not getting any treatment. My ankle doesn't hurt. So it was confusing for sure. But they're saying that they're looking at the future. So 8, 10 years down the line, something might happen. Yada yada. And you got to understand that when you do a 13-year deal, 12-year deal, and stuff like that, then it's all about risk management. So when you see something like that, I can see why the red flags, and that's why we transition into a 6-year deal with the options. And now if I want to keep playing, then I have the options there. I just gotta keep playing good baseball. But it's just part of life. You can bitch about it, or you can keep moving on and keep playing baseball, and that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm proud of you
I
for
like
that because I would be pissed. I'd be like double burden the Giants and the Mets too. Like, screw y'all, man. Like, dude,
Well, is it the team though, or is it? I mean,
well, whoever it was, if the team can
approved?
tell their doctor, like, hey, we want this guy bad enough, we can pass. Like,
Yeah.
13 years from now, who knows what Carlos? I mean, 13 years from now, I might be under the ground, but like, I don't know that. Like, like right now for the next 10 years, you're getting a great player with great range that played shortstop, played 140 games last year. Like, there's no problem. So, like, to me, like as a former player, I'm pissed at that team. Not only am I pissed at the team, but I'm pissed that it all got out. Right? Like, I mean, from like it got out, and then the next team it got out again. I'm like, but there had to be, Carlos, a little bit of you that was like, well, I know the Twins will sign me because I know when I did games for the Twins last year, there was all these talk about you working with these young guys, and to me, it didn't sound like a guy that wanted to leave the Twins. Now, listen, the money was the money, but it didn't seem like a guy. You were invested in the Twins, even though you were only there 1 year. You had all these young guys at your house in Houston. You were doing all these things, so it seemed like there was a little bit of you that wanted to stay there.
Yeah, I grew very attached to the guys right away. There's a lot of young players that want to be great, and it just takes me back to when I was in the big leagues, and there were a lot of things that I didn't know about how to prep before going out to hit in the cage, and how to have a good routine, and how to eat healthy, and how to have a sleeping schedule and all that. And those are things that earlier in my career would have helped me and would have prevented so many injuries, right? So now I see a lot of myself in these kids, and I want to give them all the information that they can have so they can be great and that they can take care of their families. So, I started that early last year with them, earned their trust right away, earned their respect right away. So now, they're asking all the questions. They want to do all these things. I tell them, this is what I tell the players. I say, hey, just do the math. You sacrifice 10 years of your life so you can make all the money that you can make in baseball. And then let's say you retire at 35, 40. You have until you die to do whatever you want. So if you want to drink, if you want to go to clubs, if you want to party, if you want to hang out at bars, you got from 35 until you die to do all those things, right? So people have it twisted. People have it the other way around. People go to college and they say, oh, college, let's go party. And in your 20s, let's go out, let's go party, let's go hang out, let's go get drunk. And now you're trying to figure out what's going to happen for the rest of your life, right? So what I tell the kids is, hey, figure it out right now. Put in all your effort, all your time, all your work, everything you got into right now. Make your money and then do whatever you want. Do whatever you want after that. So, they seem to get it. When you talk to players about money, they always understand. That's a language that we all players understand. And, that's when I get with the analytics department and, I dump in all the analytics and I say, hey, if you can post this OPS plus, if you can post this WAR, if you can post this walk percentage, you're going to get paid X amount of money. It's there. The blueprint is there. We just have to do it. Now players get caught up on, oh, 40 homers, 100 RBIs. That's how players back then got paid. I don't care how players back then got paid. You got to look at what the GMs and the owners are looking at right now, because they're the ones that are going to pay at the end of the day. And if they want you to do your WAR to be at 6 and your WRC plus to be over 140 and all these things, then you got to do those things, because that's how they're going to pay you. So, they understand, everybody's aboard, and it's fun to watch, man. Everybody's working.
Dude, I wish I had you when I was a young kid. You could have. I want to hear about. First of all, I don't even know what half the things you just said was.
What do you mean?
WRC
Yes, you
plus
do.
and this and that. Like,
No,
I get it.
well,
But no,
You're this is
how
number
back
2 guy
then-
on Fox.
Yeah, you know how back then, like, we were judged by how many homers do you hit and how many RBIs do you bring in and all that. Well, the guy that plays in Colorado is going to hit more homers than the guy that's playing in Detroit. That's a given, right? And the guy that has a better team around him is going to have more RBIs than the guy that's not playing with a good team around him, because he's going to have more guys on base and the at-bats are going to be way more than the other guys, right? So that's not a good way to quantify how good players are and how you can compare them to each other, right? Ballparks are smaller, ballparks are bigger. It's not like the NBA or the NFL that the dimensions are all the same. So these stats are to measure all these things and put them into players so we can compare them. For example, if you play in Colorado, right, you got to put like a 950 OPS. So your OPS plus can be like 130. Now, if I play, let's say, Minnesota, which was 26 in par factor in 2022, I didn't have to hit 40 homers to have a 140 OPS plus. All I had to do is play discipline, hit the ball hard, right center field. I was crushing balls that were hitting off the wall. Well, the graph counts them as the damage that they should have been because of how hard you hit it and the angle you hit it. So it's all about the quality of contact, the play discipline, the league that you play in, and the ballparks you play in. So that's why they use those stats, because it's easier to compare players like that.
You were doing it, Carlos. You just schooled AJ in more WAR plus ERA plus than he has ever known.
I want to every day. Can Carlos just come, like, call me and talk me through, like, all this stuff every day? Because, like, that was the best analytics lesson I've ever had in my whole. I'm serious.
You go to Fort
I would
Myers
love
all
to,
the
brother.
time. And
Dude.
Carlos, it's a big Twins guy.
I'm serious. Like, man, like, he's talking about in Colorado. But okay, now you got my mind spinning, because now there's like.
Wait, let
10
Kratzy
talk, brother.
Yeah,
think
Let's
for a
talk.
second.
because then we're going to
Kratzy's
get back
dying
to this, because
talk.
I got so many
Okay,
questions now.
Let it digest for a second.
Let it digest. But you talk about being young. When we played together, you were 20 years old, and I'm watching you now talk, and I'm like, I remember being in the weight room throwing a medicine ball against the wall. I wasn't going to play. I was just in there working out, and I remember you watching me throw like 6 balls against the wall, and you were like, you looked at me and you go, "Why are you doing that? I've never done that before." I don't know what exercise I was doing. And to see you now as a 28-year-old, like 28, and you've been through free agency, what, twice?
Twice, brother. Twice.
28 years old, and now you're working on a 6-year contract. Is this something that you're like, you're talking about all the weighted runs created, all that stuff. Like, are you trying to learn and physically get better, or has this just been how you've been your whole life?
I think it's how I've been my whole life and how I'm wired, of not just focus on myself, but also focus on the people around me, right? And if one thing I learned playing with the Astros for so long is that one guy can carry a team in baseball, right? This is not the NBA where LeBron can just carry a team, or Jordan could carry a team into a championship. In baseball, that doesn't happen. You get 4 at-bats, you cannot hit for anybody. Like, you're not involved in every play. So you got to make people around you better, and that's my goal. When I wrote my goals for this year, the first one on top of the list was make my teammates better, right? I'm always taking care of my body. I'm always taking care of my game. I'm always trying to improve. Matter of fact, I told the infield coach the other day, I said, I want you to treat me like a rookie. If there is a play out there that I don't finish, lay it on me. Lay it on me. First step was bad. You're not putting in the effort in the routine. The intent is not there. You just treat me like a rookie. Don't treat me like I'm Carlos Correa, the guy that played in the big leagues and it's a platinum glory. No. I said, treat me like all the guys in here that are trying to make a name for themselves, right? And that's the way that I see things, right? I want to treat people how I want to be treated, right? And I tell the guys, hey, don't be afraid to ask me questions, because I've been here for a long time in the big leagues. Doesn't mean that I'm going to treat you like you're any less, right? We're all men here in this clubhouse. We're all the same. We have the same, tools and abilities, and you have 2 arms, you have 2 legs, just like me. So let's just talk like adults and let's try to make each other better. And for me, that's what drives me every single day, bro. To be honest, I could just focus on myself and be like a lot of players where they have a lot of talent and they just go to a clubhouse, get their 2 homers and go home and they don't care. But that's not me. So what I do in spring training is, I like to cook, and the team around me, we like to cook and cook our own meals. So what I do is every day I bring 2 different players to the house. And we sit at this table that I am right now, and one sits to my right, one sits to my left, and we talk baseball. I mean, what AJ and I, we were just talking about WRC plus, all that stuff, and make sure they understand it. We talk mental, because the mental is really important in this game. We talk, food, what you should eat in order for you to maximize your talent. So I tell them, eat for performance. Don't eat for your pleasure. Eat for performance, and then when you retire, you can eat all the cakes that you want and all the wings that you want and all the stuff. So when you put all those things together, that's how you become elite in this game, right? If you want to be one of the guys that is going up and down, then do whatever you want, right? But the blueprint is out there. We know what we need to do to be successful, right? We know what we need to do to stay healthy. So it's a long road where you got to be talking to a lot of people, but it's something I enjoy.
Valedictorian. You were valedictorian in high school, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it was like close to 1600 SAT just for AJ to absorb.
Listen, I love this. I could sit here and talk to him seriously for hours. I want to get invited to the dinner. Can I get?
Dude,
I'm
you're
only like
one
2
of
hours
the
away.
biggest twins.
Like I'll sit on the right or the left. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I
Anytime.
like food.
Yo, this is Mr. Orlando too, Carlos, by the way.
No,
and
no.
and Fort Myers.
I did
Yes,
my
you
time
are.
in Fort
Yeah,
Myers. I did my time in
You're
Fort
a big
Myers.
Twins guy.
So okay, so I'm listening to you talk. Like, where did this come from? Because I've never heard a player. Maybe you have, Scott, or Kratz has, but I've never heard another active player, talk the way you're talking about, like food, taking care of your body. I mean, you hear people talk about it, but
at this level, you're saying.
Level,
no,
like
I wonder if there are
like,
any others he texts with.
Yeah,
too,
I want to know. Well, I want to know where you learned it from. Like, who was the guy you sat down with and said, "Hey, I need to know this stuff." Is there like a guy you went to, and then let's answer that, and then we'll get into it because I got a list of questions here, but you don't have all night.
He'll come another
I can
time.
be here for 3 hours talking to you guys, and I wouldn't care if we're talking about meaningful stuff. But yeah, it all started when I was 23, and I had my first back injury, right? And from that moment on, I was like, "Whoa! Like, what happened?" Like one day I wake up and I couldn't get out of bed. And it was just because I was young and I felt invincible and I felt like I didn't need no prep routine. I didn't need to warm up. So I would just get to the clubhouse and just start hacking. Like I literally would grab a bat, put the batting gloves on, not even go to the gym, and just hack. I was eating whatever I wanted. I was playing good, yeah. But then I started getting hurt, right? And then I started looking for information. Meet with doctors, meet with your back doctor, meet with the dietitian, meet with the nutritionist, meet with a bunch of people, and I start picking their brain on all these things that I need to do to stay on the field, right? So I learned about my prep routine and what I need to do before games to be ready to compete. I learned about the diet and how poisonous sugar is, and all these things are processed, how bad they are for you. And then I started making adjustments in my life, and I started seeing the difference, right? So I'll wake up and I won't feel sore anymore. I will go play and I feel energized. I didn't feel sleepy when I was in the clubhouse after practice. So, my thinking was different. My judgment wasn't too clouded, so I could think clearly. A lot of things happened throughout the course of those years where I understood that I need to stay on top of these things if I want to be the player that I want to be. And also for me, it was about just playing. At some point in my career, it was about like, yeah, he's super talented, he's a really good player, but he doesn't stay on the field. Well, I have to make the necessary adjustments for me to do that. Right now that I know what it takes, I want to tell the players on my team before they have to go through what I went through. Right, I want to avoid the injury stage of a lot of players in order for them to understand what it takes to be great in this game. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be that shortcut for them to understand. Hey, I can avoid all these injuries. I can avoid all this nonsense by just doing these things. Now, there's gonna be players that are not gonna do it. Right, all I can do is give you the information. But if every player did it, then we'll have a lot more successful players in the big leagues making a lot of the 200, 300, 400 million dollar contracts that are going to be given out here pretty soon, right? But only the few that do it are the ones that get there, right? So that's the catch, right? Sacrifice a lot, you accomplish a lot. So it's a very interesting subject, man. I can be here for days.
That's why Kratz and I never got $200 million. We ate the sugar. So, I mean, who's dinner tonight? Who's dinner guest tonight? Who's your dinner guest?
Christian Vasquez is coming tonight. Christian Vasquez, the catcher.
Oh, I played with
tonight.
him.
We're
Okay.
making, if I look over here, the boys are making some salmon. We're making some sweet potatoes, some broccolini. We got some sparkling water going. That's all we got for tonight.
No, that's
gotta eat
perfect.
healthy, brother. You can come to C4's house and eat crap food, man. I can be preaching about eating healthy and then be handing out burgers and wings.
He's not hitting the Fort Myers. We're not asking him for more Fort Myers restaurant Rex.
Dude, I mean, come on. I stay at the not the Bell Tower, whatever the one is right there by the JetBlue when I'm down there for my kids' games. They got the Carrabba's, they got the Outback, they got the Ale House. They're not having the salmon.
Carlos is not there.
Gotta sacrifice. I always tell the players this saying that I read in one of the books I read a while back. It was like, it said that you have to sacrifice for what you want, or what you want will become your sacrifice. So, sacrificing is very important in this game, man. And you gotta do everything in your power. If you want to be great, you gotta do everything in your power to accomplish that. And that involves all this stuff that we're talking about.
Okay, so then who was your analytics guy? Like who'd you sit down with? Like you said, the doctors and your back problem. So when did you become, okay, I need to learn how to, WRC plus, and I need to hit the ball to right center and it counts.
Yeah, like front office guys?
Yeah, was it a front office guy? Was it a guy at your agency? Was it a Boris guy? Was it someone, in your life? Like, do you have a coach or somebody that would set you down? Because most players understand this stuff, but they don't really, they don't talk about it the way you're openly talking about. Like, if I hit the ball to right center and I hit a double, it should have been a homer, it counts.
Yeah, so it all started after 2020 season, right? The COVID year. And I don't want to take jabs at anybody, of course, but, I look at my metrics and I kind of knew the defensive metrics. And, I thought that I was going to win the Gold Glove, and I didn't win it, right? I was second. And I met with the analytics department when the Gold Glove was announced. I called them right away. And I said, I want you to tell me why I didn't win it, right? And they started talking about this new stat that's coming up, that Rawlings takes 25% of the votes on this stat, and then 75% of the votes are from the coaches and managers. So I said, what is SDI? Why haven't I heard of this? And there's something new that they're mixing all the stats, UCR, range factor, defensive run saves, and also above average and all that. And there was one stat that you weren't really good at, and you were good on the other three, but the other guy was good in all of them. So I said, all right, so what do I need to do? So right away, I got on the phone with Joe Espada, our coach in Houston. I said, hey, I really want to win a Gold Glove, and this is the metrics that we're getting judged by. So let's put in all our effort and all our intent into trying to be good at these stats. And every day I would just check them, man. Every day I would just check my DRS all the way to the end of the season. And towards the end, I knew it was a lot, because I knew that the stats that are getting judged to win the Gold Glove, I was leading in all of them. So just by knowing that, I was able to elevate my game to a new level in terms of what we're getting judged on, right? So I could think, oh, DRS is all I want. Oh, that's fine. You can be the best player, the one that saves the most runs, but that doesn't get you the Gold Glove. So you got to do the things that we're going to get judged by. And then it transitioned to the hitting. I said, all right, I'm going to be a free agent. What are the stats that I need to focus on to be able to get a good contract? And that's when they started explaining to me about WRC plus and why. And they're talking about WAR and why. And they're talking about WOBA and why. And that's when I started getting into it, because I'm going to my free agency. So I want teams to have no excuse to pay me what I'm worth based on the stats that they're putting in front of us that a lot of players, 90% of the league, don't know about. So I just wanted to be informed and be able to play for those stats. And that's what I did.
It's incredible. It's incredible. You are like, you say it with confidence. You say it with, like, you live this out. You're goal-oriented. Your goals, because this is, I mean, I don't see how this contract with the Twins isn't a 10-year deal, just listening to you. I know it's 6 right now, but it's going to become 10. They're going to keep picking it up, because even, just the way you talk to the other players, you are as valuable, if not more valuable, than your contract. What's your 10-year goal for this team? At the end of your 10 years with the Twins, you look back and you say, hell yeah, I did that.
Yeah, so I had Gilberto Celestino. I was talking to him 2 days ago, and he's sitting next to my locker, and he asked me, Correa, now that you made all this money and you've accomplished a lot of things in the game, what motivates you? What wakes you up in the morning? Because that's my question to every player that I meet. What wakes you up in the morning? So he asked me that question. And I said, first, I showed him a screenshot that I have of a text that my wife sent me like a week ago about with my son, and she was like telling me like how grateful she was for all my hard work and the things that I'm able to provide for them, so they can, so my son can have food at the table and can have a good education, all that. So she sent me like a long text just expressing the gratitude and how great she was feeling because she can be home with the kids and all that. So I said, this is my first motivation, my family, right? Love my wife, love my kids, want to play for them, want to give them the best lifestyle that they can have, right? The things that I couldn't do when I was a kid, I want my son to be able to experience, right? And then on the baseball side, I want to help you guys feel what I felt in the postseason. And I said, I've never felt any better than when I hit those walk-off homers to decide a game in the playoffs. I said, my goal here, and the reason why I talk to you guys about all these things is because I want you guys to experience that, or at least to have a chance at experiencing that, right? I wanted to put you guys in a spot where you have a bats in the playoffs that are going to decide games, right? I want to build a dynasty here. Because when I look back, when I was with the Astros and the team was losing 111 games, and then you had Correa, then you had McCullers, then you had Alex Bregman, then you had Springer, then Alvarez comes via trade, and then you have Tucker. At some point, all these guys were rookies. At some point, these guys were projected to be great, right? But we didn't know for sure. Well, they panned out, right? We have a lot of young guys in our organization that I look at right now. I'm like, holy shit, this guy is really good. And I can count 6, 7 of them. So if half of them pan out, we're going to be good for a long time because these guys are going to be under contract for 6 years. I'm going to be here for at least 6 years. Byron Bucks is going to be at least for 6 years. So now you're talking about a core that's going to stay playing together every single year with a lot of talent. I'm seeing all these things in the future, right? Because of the talent that I'm seeing. So my goal is to just motivate them in order for me to accomplish the dream that I have for the organization, which is to be good for a long time, for it to be sustainable. And I think we can accomplish that. So that's why this spring training has been like the best spring training I've ever been a part of, because when I was with the Astros, like the goal was set, right? It was the golden standard. We're gonna get to a World Series, let's win it, right? And everybody knew what they had to do. Well, now I'm like in the cage. I finish my work and I go to the cage and I sit down and the guys have questions about their swings and all that, and I'm there with them. And then I go to a bullpen and the pitchers have me track their pitches and see if it's popping or not and what I think, if it's gonna work or not. The analytics guys are working different grips with them, and I'm there with them. I meet with the front office and I meet with the analytic department on all these things that we can improve. So like it's like a collective effort, but I feel like I have to be there and just help everybody get to where we want to get, right? Because I've lived there in the organization. So that's what I want for us. I want us to be good for a long, long time.
Damn.
I told you we
Dude,
have to
he's
get
like
him
the
on.
GM, bro.
Yeah, but
You're
I
like
told
the
you.
GM, the owner, the hitting coach, the pitching coach, the infield instructor. You're my analytics teacher now.
Yeah, but for a lot of the players too, though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I said we have to have him on to talk through this
dude,
stuff.
I'm like this. So,
I knew this was going to happen.
So, okay, so your goal this year is to do something that the Twins haven't done since I played there, which is win a playoff series, which is unbelievable. 2002, they haven't won a playoff series since 2002, and I was there. That was, as you know, forever ago. So when you were up in Target Field, you'll see my picture up on the wall, a long time ago. I looked a little different. You might not recognize me, but we're talking goals long term. You said you write down your goals for this year. What are your goals for this year? Like you got platinum glove last year, you got gold glove. Like what's your goals that you wrote down? Like give me your top 3 that you wrote down.
My personal goals?
Yeah, absolutely. Your personal goals that you said, or you say you write them down. What are your top 3 you wrote down for this year?
So 2 was be consistent with your preparation. That's sometimes us as players, one day you wake up and you feel a little tired, so you half-ass your routine, and all of a sudden, this got tight. All of a sudden you're missing a couple games. So be consistent with my routine. And one of my goals is something that I haven't done yet is to win an MVP, right? And if it's a team sport, but it's also very, very individual sport. So I tell the players, if each one of you take care of the stuff that you have to take care of, and you try to be the best player at your position, we're gonna be good at the end of the year, right? So I say, focus on your craft. It's a team sport, but when you're at the batter's box, right? And let's say you don't hit the slider, and I hit the slider. It's not like you say, "Oh, slider is coming, Carlos. Here, take this pitch right here. You swing at this pitch, right?" It's not like basketball. You're passing the ball around. It's not like football where you're using all your teammates in one play. Baseball is very individual. You're in the batter's box by yourself. You gotta make, you gotta have your own approach. You gotta make your own decisions. You gotta, do what you have to do to help us win. So I tell the guys, go out there, try to make yourself better, and at the end of the day, as a team, we're gonna be better. And the way that the chemistry and the camaraderie and all that stuff works is in the clubhouse. When we go to the dining room, when we go on the road and you have 15 guys in one room just talking baseball, right? That's how you bond and that's how you get close together. But when you're on the baseball field, man, if everybody's taking care of this stuff, the team is gonna be good for sure.
He cares. You can tell, right? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
so
Blown
let's
away. Love it.
take this to the next level, because this is where Carlos and I have had conversations and can relate, as obviously I'm the host. So there's got to be a point guard in this show, right? So Carlos, we've talked about this, like, team. What about, you got your team goals, you got your individual goals for the sport, and specifically with what we're doing. So we just launched a live daily show. We're having big ass players on every single day. Wayno first show, you're on second show, Scherzer, like going down the line, the big guys. And this is what we want to get into. Where do you think baseball needs to do work from like a worldly perspective, content perspective? Like, you see what the NFL and the NBA do, like the questions that you guys want to get asked and who you want to talk to. Like, to me, when I talk to the superstars in the sport, they actually have a lot to say about this, because they're like, I leave a lasting legacy for my team, wins, all of that, but for the sport and people that come after me. And we know, with contracts and CBA and all that, but also like just making sure the sport is popping for players so that they're popular and they compete with the other sports, and we're cool as a sport. Like, that's one of the things in general, like baseball needs to be cool.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is showing the human side of baseball players, right? Because we get judged by the lens and by what people see on TV and what they see on the cameras, but that's not who we truly are, right? So, for example, I've had a lot of guys that now that I'm in a different team, they come from the Dodgers, they come from the other teams that are rivals, right? Let's say the Yankees and all that, and they tell me, Carlos, like, to be honest, like, playing against you, I thought you were an asshole, right? But now that I'm with you, like, I feel like you're the nicest guy, right? And I tell them, hey, when I'm on the field, I'm trying to take your head. We're not friends, right? I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win championships. So if I'm going out there to try to be buddies with everyone. That's not the way I play. I don't bring the best out of myself doing that. So I know I have to have a straight face. I have to have that killer mentality, and I have to feel like you're my enemy and I'm trying to step on you, right? And that's the way I like to go about my business. But when we leave the ballpark and we go to a restaurant and we're in the clubhouse, or I see you at Whole Foods, we're going to have a meaningful conversation about whatever you want to talk to, right? Because I like to treat people how I want to be treated. I said that before, right? So that's how I lived. I had a guy that came from the Dodgers and he's now with us, and he's like, wow, like I love what I see you doing with all these young guys over here. And I never thought you would be doing that by just playing against you, right? So we get judged by this lens and what people see on the camera and on TV, but that's not who we truly are as people, right? Like LeBron says, we're more than athletes, right? And, only our families and our inner circle and our friends know what's inside, but people judge us by just what they see on TV. And I think doing a better job with that, with this platform that you guys have now about, bringing the human side of Carlos Correa alive, I think that's what's really important.
Well, nobody lived that life, Carlos, more, I think, than I did. I mean, listen, I mean, we might have crossed paths at the end, but like, I mean, when you said that, it brought like my heart, because like, yeah, I played with hate, right? Like, I wanted to kill the other guy. He could be my best friend in the world out there pitching, but I want to get 4 hits off him, take money out of his pocket, and he's trying to strike me out and get money out of my pocket. So Listen, man, that for me, like to hear that like hits home for me because I want to hear from you guys. That's kind of why we're doing this. Is like I want to hear your side of it, and I'm learning. We keep talking. I keep saying this, but I'm learning so much from listening to you talk about how to deal with teammates and how to deal with hard times and how to deal with setting goals. Because these are all things I wish I would have done, but I never did because I never had anyone sit me down and say, especially a veteran player, and say, look, man, you need to make goals. You need to. Yeah, you always talk about goals. It was different though. You know, you want to hit 300, you want to hit 20 homers, you want to drive in 100. But now with all this other stuff, there's other ways to affect the game, and to hear a player say it in an intelligent way, the way you're saying it, it touches me because it's great. So thank you.
Thank you. One of the things about leading young guys is that you gotta be careful with your delivery, right? It's not what you're saying, it's how you say it, right? So I focus on getting to know the players on a personal level so I know what they can take and what they can't take, right? So there's players that I'm really close with and I pretty much hang out with them in the room when we're on the road every single day. So when I see them doing something or I see them gaining weight, I say, hey, you got to get in shape, all right? We're not a better team if you can only play one position. We're a better team if you're versatile and you can just move around the infield. And when somebody's getting an off day, you can fill in a second, you can fill in a short, right? I can say that to some players and they will take it the right way. Now, they're the players that are sensitive. I cannot treat it like that. So I go in a different way and I say, hey, you want to help us win a championship? And they'll go like, yeah, of course. And I say, well, what do you think is the best way that we can win a championship? Because if, from my point of view, we need you to win a championship. We need you to be able to play every position in the infield to be a championship caliber team, right? And they're like, yeah. So now you got all their attention, and now you can get the message in a better way because they're already, listening, right? So it's always how you say things, not what you say. And that's something that I'm very careful with in the clubhouse, just making sure that I know who I'm dealing with.
Gosh, you sound like my wife now. now you sound like my wife because she always tells me that with my kids. Like it's not what you're saying; it's how you're saying it.
It's the approach.
Yeah, and I'm bad at that. I can admit I'm not good at that.
Yeah,
it's not too late. It's not too late to change.
I know. I got to come down and have dinner, and you're going to teach me all these things about WOBA and teach me how to cook salmon and teach me how to talk.
He's got me next to him every day now too, Carlos. I'm basically living in his house doing this show every day live.
I love it. Hey, that's like when you have a player that has a career 600 OPS and the hitting coach is trying to tell him something that might help him, and they're like, "I've always hit like that, though." Bro, it hasn't worked. So try something different. What will you tell the hitting coach? I've always hit like that. Let's try different things. Bring your hands up. Open your stride. Just try something different because it's not working. And that, for me, that's the worst saying in baseball. And right now we're running a program in the cages where, David Hopkins is our hitting coach. In my opinion, the best hitting coach in the big leagues. And the reason I say that is because I started the season last year. I was hitting like 160 in my first 90 at bats, right? And it's because I worked on some different stuff to try to get the ball more in the air. I mean, I was lost. I couldn't hit a fastball. I was out front on breaking balls. I mean, it was the worst start of my career by far. Come May 1st, I say, Pop, I'm all yours. Let me see what you got for me. So I started working with him in all these drills, and he started showing me how to understand my body and why the slack works this way and why you got to coil this way and why you got to land this way and why you attack the ball this way in the tight turns and catching balls in the turn instead of throwing your hands at it. So like now I'm understanding my swing. Now I know how to repeat it because I understand what a good swing looks like, which before I felt like, let me try this, let me try that. Well, now the science, we have a lot of scientific proof about how the human body should move in order for you to generate more power, more speed, and all those things. So I said, I'm going to follow you for the rest of my life. And now that I signed back, I have him forever, which, whatever I was going to end up was probably going to bring him. But now that I stay here with the Twins, I'm going to just listen to him and just go with the flow and just keep improving my game, right? So we held a meeting the first day and we say, hey, guys, like we all have the same goal in mind. We all want to be great. We all want to win. And this guy right here knows what he's talking about. Our analytic department is really, really good right now with the guys that we brought in. And we have all the tools for you to improve your game to a new level. And this is science. This is facts. This is the truth right here. Right? This is how it works. So everybody's in, and everybody's getting their work in the cage, and everybody's listening, and nobody's saying, "Oh, I've always hit like this," and all that stuff. So the team is looking real, real good.
Yeah, you adjust. And I know you got dinner, and we'll get into more stuff, another time too. And the game needs these conversations, by the way. That's why we got players, a lot more too on this show. Adam Jones on this show. He'll be at Mets camp, and we've got Todd Frazier's on the show. A lot of different guys that are a part of this that are contributing a ton of time. AJ's missing all his golf nowadays just to do this, but the game needs these conversations.
I would give up golf if I can have a conversation like this and talk ball with someone and learn.
I know.
Like we had Wainwright on today. We had Wayno on before, and like his conversation about what he does and how he preps, and now to hear you, I need people to hear this, how much it goes into this, and I'll sit here. I mean, I'll sit here. If Carlos had 3 more hours, I honestly would sit here all night.
We'll split it up next time, another time. Last thing I want to ask you, and you can give quick, but Carlos, just because you had your first game, and you went viral for like hopping out of the box, and then you're like, oh shit, and you hop back in. Like, how was that?
Well,
what do you think of the rules?
Well, I'm facing Painter, and he's like the Phillies' #1 prospect, which I knew about because of all the teams that I met in the offseason. I did my research on their prospects and their farm system, and he's a Scott Boras guy. So I'm talking to Scott yesterday, and he's like, let me know what you think about the kid. He's 19. He's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. Take it easy on him, blah, blah. So, I was like, okay, like, let me see. So I swing at the first pitch, and he threw me like a fastball at 99 that kind of like cut. And I swung under. It was a foul ball. And I was like, all right, you better gear up. Like, he's throwing hard. First game of spring training. Everything seems like 110 miles an hour. Just make sure you let the ball travel, go the other way. And I'm thinking all these things while at the same time, I'm like, oh, shit, the new rules. So I step on the box, and I'm like, woo, 9 seconds. All right, I did it. So you have to be looking at the pitcher, hands up. And then he made his next pitch, and I didn't swing at it because I wasn't ready, right? So I just took a fastball in the middle, strike 2, and then I just stayed there at the box, right? So it's spring training for everybody. Everybody's adjusting to these new rules, but it's gonna get it's gonna take some getting used to. But I like it because you're out in 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. I mean, we love quick games, so I'm down
Hell
for
it.
Yeah.
We got more time for this. That's what's good.
But, before you go, I got one quick thing. It has nothing to do because I've been dying to ask this. Your favorite pair of shoes you have right now, because you're a sneakerhead. I love shoes. Your favorite pair of shoes, and how many did you bring to spring training? How many pairs?
Oof, I only brought 2 pairs in spring training.
That's it?
Disappointing, right? Yeah, because
you only brought 2 pairs of tennis shoes to spring training.
But remember, I went through the ankle thingy, right? And I started doing my research. So the more I talked to doctors, they said that if I want to be able to play 10, 12, 15 years, whatever, whenever I want to retire, they said that the shoe has a lot to do with, with the stuff that they're talking about on the ankle in the future. So he said, try to wear the same shoe with the same insole, so you're not wearing shoes that are uncomfortable and might affect the area in the long term. So I said, all right, say less. And I'm just wearing the same shoes every day to spring training with the same insole. And I brought another pair just in case they broke off or something happened to them where I have a backup plan. But yeah, I'm not using a lot of shoes. So if you're size 12, I can send you some.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah, hit me. Yeah, all 3 of us. You got all 3 of us. Yeah, hit me up. I don't care. I'll take the insole right out. So wait,
my size is black.
So wait. Now I know he's got
dinner.
I know, dude. No, I got to follow.
I knew this was
going
to
happen. He's not going to rock. Are you rocking
guys.
like the Nike Monarchs?
Okay.
Like, please tell me you're rocking like the Nike Monarchs, like the old dad shoes. Like the white ones with like the gray swoosh on the side. That's like the dad shoe. Like you got 2 kids.
Yeah, I will show you. I'm wearing this off-whites.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I can't pull
fresh.
those
And the
off.
reason I'm wearing this is because we last year we had a road trip where we were going to Dodger Stadium and then Anaheim, and we had an off day in between. So my wife came on the road trip and she brought my son, and we went to Disneyland. And I forgot to pack comfortable shoes. And the ones I had that were the most comfortable were these. So we spent 10 hours walking at Disney. I mean, never got a blister. My feet never hurt. So I said, these shoes are like magic. And at that time, I didn't have the insole in. So I just added the insole, and they felt like the most comfortable shoes ever. So now this is all I'm wearing. And they're black, so they go with everything. So you'll see me with a suit wearing these shoes at some point.
That's fresh.
I can't wait.
That is fresh.
I need
is
to
what
talk
I'm
to him,
talking
like,
about too.
I
I do want to say this with San Francisco and that what we talked about earlier. Like, you explain all this and you talk to a player like this, like JD Martinez. I don't know if you heard. Probably Scott told you. JD Martinez dealt with shit like that with the Red Sox. Everyone forgot about it only because I'm a nerd looking this stuff up. Like, everyone forgot about it. No one even knew that was a thing because it never even popped up. You know.
Poch Rodriguez too. He had a
Yep.
clause for his back. Never exercises. I think Magli Ordonez too. Never exercises. So it's all about taking care of your body, and hopefully it all works out at the end, and we can look back, 10 years down the road and said it was never an issue, and he had a successful career, and he made his teammates better.
And made them eat better.
Yeah.
Enjoy that dinner, man. We appreciate it. Did you like this? This is what we're talking about, right? Like, these are the kind of interviews that we need. The game needs it.
Absolutely. Just meaningful conversations, right? It's I tell the guys all the time in the clubhouse, if you're gonna come to me to talk about Instagram girls and all that stuff, I'm out. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to talk about stuff that's meaningful. And the players know now. The players don't talk about any of that stuff. And I had a funny story the other day where I was walking in and one of the guys was eating a chocolate chip cookie. And they said, Correa's coming. He threw it in the trash can. Just started giving shit for it. But it was funny, man. It was funny. There's a lot of love and a lot of respect in this clubhouse, and it's just fun to see, man. I love showing up every day to the clubhouse and getting to work with all these guys.
Yeah, this isn't like the goofy podcast shit, but it's fun. But this isn't like the inappropriate shit either. Like that goes just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like the girl stuff, whatever. Like this is
might
what
get weird
we
because
need.
I think I have a crush on Carlos at this point.
I told you this was gonna happen.
Dude,
you have. Go ahead.
If you're still working with Chicago, we can have some good conversations when I go over there play against the White Sox. I know you worked there for a little bit.
Well, I don't work with them. I'm a fan. I'm an ambassador, Carlos.
Yeah, but you're also calling games for Fox.
Yeah, but I'll see you. I have a bunch of Twins games with Fox this year. So when I find, I'm gonna get your number if that's okay from Scotty.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hit you up because I would love to go to lunch. You're buying because you're Southwest, I'm Frontier. Brother. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be healthy though. So
that's fine. I'm all for it. But
get dinner at the house. You go there.
Well, he has night games though. So.
Oh, you're saying that.
But what I'm saying is, like, I want to sit down and, like, not only on here, but I want to, because I always want to learn about ball, and he talks ball. I love talking ball. So you're the man, Carlos. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Appreciate you, man. Would love to have you back and do your thing. All right.
Anytime, brother.
AJ, your thoughts? Let's bring in the Twins' big money signing. It's their franchise player. Don't run it again. That hit.
Can't even. It's still every time even seeing it again for the second time is just what an interview.
Yeah,
like everything from what happened this offseason to how he lives his life to how he's going to make sure the ankle doesn't become a problem. Just what a guy. I mean, listen, that's what baseball needs. We need to see these guys, and we saw it today with Lindor. We saw with Diaz. We saw with Tommy Pham. Ken Rosenthal giving the insights, and then you got Carlos Correa who just laid it all out there for us, and I was just happy to be a part of it. Like I said, Carlos, I got a crush on you, so don't think less of me, all right?
Kratzy, I also love AJ. We're talking beforehand, about the ankle stuff, and AJ's like, oh, I don't know how he's feeling about it. I was like, yo, Carlos will say whatever. Second question, and AJ's like, so give me everything on the ankle story. That is so AJ. He's like, he like fucks with you before. He's like, I don't know. And then he's like, oh, actually, I'm just going to go right at it, which he was great. I mean, it said exactly, I'd say, not exactly what I'd expect him to say about it, because he even went further later on, Kratzy, telling us without saying, screw you to the other teams, like, I'm switching my shoe game to make sure that my ankles are intact. Like, in my mind, there will be a moment, right? If the Twins do big damage or he does something big against one of those ball clubs where he'll do something and be like, this is what you're missing.
Absolutely. And he's like, there's so much to dissect from that. There's so much like the same feeling that AJ has, I have, because I think AJ and I enjoy talking baseball a lot. And I think sometimes guys who have played, AJ's been out a little bit longer than me, but we're about the same age. I'm kind of old school, whatever. But like he's old school. He knows what's going on. He's the idea of like, hey, you know what? We're hanging out and we're going to talk about ball stuff that is pertinent to what we're trying to do. We're trying to win a championship, and I couldn't have. I told so many people about it last night. Like, look, you gotta tune in. You gotta listen to this interview. You gotta show it to your team. You gotta even show it to your business partners, people who are like salesmen. Like, if you want to be motivated in your field, that's what he brought, and he's gonna change some stuff in Minnesota, and I love it.
Also, be realistic. 600 OPS for 5 years, and you're just hanging around because maybe you're fast and you play good D. Might be time to listen to your hitting coach or somebody else besides saying it's what I've done.
Kratz, you help coach. I help coach. You always tell kids, try something different. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's basically what he was saying with that. Like, hey, you've been hitting 600 OPS. Well, maybe you should try something different because that way maybe it might work and it might click and you might be an 800 OPS guy and go from making $1 million to $10 million. So try something different.
That's the part that hit me a little bit, like 600. Like, what's wrong with 600 OPS for your career? Like, I was trying my best.
Yeah, but you should have tried something different.
I was trying stuff different, but
no, you were always like this.
Nope, that wasn't me. Nope, I was always like this. Oh man, are they gonna cut me? I'm gonna swing at the first pitch. Here it is. I'm swinging. No, but it shows a difference. Like, I feel like my mindset, all joking aside, my mindset was very similar to his. My talent level is so much lower than his, so much lower. And I think it shows that there's an opportunity to get the most out of what you do. And I feel like I got the most out of what this carcass had to offer. And, I took a lot of the measures that he took. I ain't putting MVP on my, to-do list, my goal list for the year. Like, this guy, he has the ability, to the point we haven't even talked much about the gambling in the first 2 episodes. I mean, once Vegas hears about it, his MVP odds, they might get a little bit easier, a little bit more palatable. But you might want to put some money down on Carlos Correa, because the last time he tried to get a goal was a Gold Glove. Okay, then the next year he got a Platinum Glove, and now this year he's like, I feel like I can win an MVP. Like, who's to say he can't?
Oh, the defense is there. We know that. The offense last year was 140 OPS plus with, he said it himself, one of his worst starts, or his worst start to his career, for the first month or two. We also didn't even get into this. He had COVID last year at one point and was sick for a little bit. He missed 2-3 weeks on that.
And his feet feel good now.
What feels good?
His feet feel good now.
His feet feel good. He's got the kicks.
Dude, what happened? I just want to know what happens when that one pair wears out. Did he buy every pair of those off whites?
Yeah.
Did he buy? Yeah, eventually, those 2 pairs are going to wear out. So, does he have does he tell his guys to go? You search the internet and you buy every pair of this exact shoe.
Here's the good news: he's got enough clout and all the money in the world. I think he can make a few phone calls and he can get whatever he wants at this point. Am I right?
He's got it. He's got it. He's not he's not like my uncle buying 9 pair of the all white New Balances. Once they go on sale, he can get some off whites. He can get a couple extra, maybe a different color here or there, but he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna live. He's great. Can't wait to have him back on again. We'll clip all of that on there for social media, YouTube, all that. And I didn't get to go through all of this yesterday, but as we're about to slap hands and put the finishing touches on a pretty nice day 2. We're everywhere. So tell your friends, tell your fam, your parents. We're still on. I don't use Facebook anymore, but we're there. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all over YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you consume media, we're there. So we appreciate the love. We just started this. This is what it's all about. Going over the real stuff in the game. Kenny Ballgame, Ken Rosenthal with us multiple times a week. We introed Adam Jones. Frazier will be back with us for Frazier Fridays starting tomorrow again. Kratz, Perzinski, I'm Braun. Let's slap hands. It's a good way to go out. We gave him 2+ hours of content. Let's go, baby. We will see you for a big Frazier Friday on Foul Territory.